And it was 1459. Now we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But you need to jump over to 90 when you get out here toward Brookshire.
Exit Brookshire, turn north, get to 90, turn west.
Does that sound right, Bill? Yeah. He
Thank
didn't even hear what you said. He just said yes.
Right. He knows I said it, so it's right.
I know. Is that how you got here, Bill? Why don't you come sit down over here? Because
join us. Don wants to torment you on the air.
Well, I've been tormenting Bill since 1977, so I know that you did, but did you? Oh, you need to put that headset on so the world can hear you. There you go.
Oh man, I feel like I'm wired now.
Yes, yeah. Well,
need more coffee.
Let's not get into that.
No, we're going to leave that alone.
Yeah, because we used to have some of the same friends.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I hesitate.
And I have to tell you that I have been trying since the last time I saw you, trying to remember that car club member's name that had, I think it was a green 69. I think it was a 427 with side pipes, and that is where I actually that was my first car show. You were there. No, it wasn't. It was because I was in the car club by then. So, and we were all showing our cars together at the Corvette Expo at the Albert Thomas Convention Center. What a nightmare that was.
The real Corvette Expo.
The real one, yeah. Yeah, because there are some.
Not the one that goes on today?
No. Have you ever been to that one down there?
Once or twice,
yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. That's
never going back.
No.
It's changed. Everything changes over time.
Well, it does. But I went one time, and we did a broadcast from there. And we're talking about the one in Galveston, and not to put anybody down or put it down.
It's a good
show. For what it is, it's an okay show. There aren't a whole lot of cars, a lot of vendors, and I think it's more about the trip getting there and the vendors than it is anything else. And if you're down there, it's fine.
Hot Wheels, burnt Beanie Babies, all kind of stuff, and some cars.
Burnt Beanie Babies. Is it
not burnt? I didn't.
Did you say?
No, I just stuttered a little.
Is that what it was? Move that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth, if you don't mind. Thank you.
How's it? Do I sound better?
They're much better, much deeper now.
Well,
what are you looking at? David? I think Mr. Mars is looking for. Okay. Now, we're running behind. Now, we got here 2 hours before we went on the air this time. Now, for the regular listeners and participants in this show that listen on various and sundry outlets, the show started an hour ago. But those were recorded.
All 7 of them.
Those were recorded. Those were recorded hours.
Okay.
Okay. This is now live and in living color from the HEMI Hideout.
And everything has a pink hue in the living color.
It does. What happened to our light up there?
Because all the
We
neon.
needed the power.
Huh?
We needed the power.
Oh, you needed the power, so out went the light?
Yep.
Oh, well, isn't that something?
That's special.
I've got to say that every one of you looks great on the radio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do that.
And
so
now it's your turn.
So Bill Sites has a lot of hours involved in this HEMI Hideout. From the ground up, actually. Did you watch the concrete being poured? Were you here for that?
Oh, I was here for everything.
Everything.
We started putting little flags in the field where we were going to build the building, and then it went from there. So, yeah.
From the very beginning. How did you meet John Hovas? Or do I even ask?
Sure. I do automotive artwork.
Yes.
And I illustrated one of his cars that was in a local shop, and whenever they do a big build, they have me do an illustration. They give it to the owner when he picks the car up. And for a while, he wondered who did the artwork, and I wondered who owned the car, and finally our paths crossed about 15 years ago, and been buddies ever since. You know, John is a likable guy and feel like family once you meet him once.
Yeah.
So, and it grew from there. It was a very fortunate meeting. I've enjoyed every minute of it, got to say.
Yeah. Well, and it was you that called me as I think that the building was being built. And you said, Don, when this thing is built, you've got to come out here and meet John.
Yep.
And I finally got the invitation to come out here, and I was wowed, needless to say. But and thanks to you, our friendship with him has grown as well.
Yeah.
And this was actually before you even had, I think, the In Wheel Time show, wasn't it? I believe it was. Well, 15 years ago, because this show's now in its 12th year. Okay. So I think it was about a little bit before that time. But,
well, and the wow factor is kind of beyond the cars and the collection of neon. To me, the wow factor is the structure. The building itself is just impressive to stand in the middle of and look at. It's just pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say the people involved in it.
And the artwork surrounding the place. Well, the wow the family of people that surround the place.
And now he's trying to dance around what he said. It's okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I know you are.
I know Bill's done all the artwork out here.
A lot of it. A few pieces.
Including the centerpiece as you walk in?
The tiles and the logo design and the big murals and some of the smaller paintings. So, yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah. So was that up when they opened the building, your artwork?
Yes.
On all the walls?
Yes.
So while the building was being built or before the building was being built, you were working on the artwork?
Was working on the designs for it. John wanted everything, all of us did, wanted everything unique in here, not something that you're going to go down to another collection somewhere and see the same thing. So that was our challenge, and it took a while to come up with the ideas, and then the actual artwork didn't take as long.
So what did you go through his car collection? Because the car collection was already in place for the most part.
He had all the cars.
Yeah.
So we knew we wanted to include the cars in the murals and in the tiles, that artwork. So we knew the content-wise. We just wanted to know how to present it.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge. I told John, I said, I wanted to do the artwork, but I didn't know I was going to have to help him build a building before I could put the artwork in.
Yeah.
Had to make sure he had the wall space for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what, at the time, the first time I came out here, there may have been, I don't know, a dozen or so neon signs at the most. Am I right?
More than that, but it looked.
Well, this is how many square feet is this?
22,000.
22,000 square feet. So, all right, let's just say 2 dozen signs.
Let's say 280 signs when
originally.
When we opened up, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never known. John,
the building swallows them up.
It truly does. And every time we come up here, which is a little less than once a year, it's like, wait a minute, that's new.
What's the new one? Yeah.
And you picked out one outside.
Yep.
The
Ballantine's beer signs. First time I noticed it. And the only reason I noticed it, my grandfather drank Ballantine beer, and I'm sure the reason he drank it is because he knew I wouldn't.
Because it was so bad?
Yeah, it's the beer that created Bitter Beer Face. Oh, gosh, that stuff is horrible. It's like a New York City beer. It's just horrible.
Then people drink it, apparently.
My grandfather did.
Ugh.
And they had nice signs.
And they had nice signs. They were all over the place.
Yeah.
I won't tell you how long that sign's been out there, but ask John.
Has it been out there a long time?
Yeah. Well, I still go up to some of the signs. I said, John, when did you get this? And he said, 2012, something like that.
Good, so we're not by ourselves then.
I can't keep up with the new signs.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about the building is there's so many nooks and crannies and a place to place a sign. You really can't look anywhere in here without seeing 15 or 20 various neon signs of different brands and stuff. And most of it automotive, not necessarily every bit of it automotive, but all of it's gorgeous.
John's expanded his interests past automobiles and Petroliana to just Americana in general.
Yeah.
And you can look at a sign and 20 minutes later come back and you'll see 10 other things you didn't see the first time. So it draws you in.
Well, I will say this, that I see that they keep getting higher in the rafters now.
Oh, he'll go right to the top.
I know he will. Eventually he will.
Yeah, there's still all that space up there that isn't filled in yet.
Exactly. And I'm sure that we're working on that, no doubt. Yeah.
Daily.
Do you go out with him when he's collecting?
Not anymore. Went on some memorable trips, believe me, but haven't done that in a while. In fact, we're all cutting back a little bit. John and Tom and myself and a few others, it's kind of like, rumor has it we're getting older.
No.
Yeah, that's
what I'm not.
Well, you're an exception. Believe me.
In many ways.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Exactly. Yes, most definitely. Jeff, you could ask John if we could get us another electric cord to light up the light, because I can tell you that the video is going to be extremely pink. Well, trust me on this. I can tell you that on the playback, it won't be good. But at any rate, sorry for the background stuff, but you'll notice that we don't have the big in-wheel time sign back
I was
here.
going to ask you about that.
It's in front now. Because we're not trying to cover up anything.
I'm sure there's
And
a lot
we
to
were.
There
We're
you go.
covering up the motorcycle
Yeah,
collection.
it's any place you put a barrier in here, you're going to
Exactly.
Hide something worth looking at.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. And we've actually thought about doing some broadcasts where we actually have our back to the live audience, but we're shooting them.
That's cool, too.
Kind of like they do on the network stuff every once in a while, mainly football games. Just saying.
Especially like when we're at a car show or an event, and that way we can kind of see the cars cruising around as opposed to switching to a different camera that we can't get to work on Jeff's laptop.
Oops.
Mars.
Mars, you're very quiet over there. What are you doing?
I'm monitoring everything.
He's working on
Are
his
you?
phone.
And you found that we're not on the air? Is that what it is?
No, we're here.
we're there.
We're up.
Okay. Well, just checking. I did want to have you been keeping up with the UAW strike out of Detroit at all?
Not much.
Well, okay. Well, we're a car show, so we try to keep up with it on a weekly basis. Stellantis is pulling out of the Specialty Equipment Market Association show, that's in Las Vegas, and the Los Angeles Auto Show to cut costs during the ongoing UAW strike. Automaker Friday, yesterday, said it is canceling its displays and presentations at the two events as part of its strike contingency plan. It announced the moves just days after saying it was canceling plans to participate in the 2024 CES Tech Expo in January. The SEMA event begins October 31st in Las Vegas, and the LA show starts November 16th. That's huge because
That's a late pullout for SEMA.
it is, and the other thing that concerns me, Mr. Mars, is the fact, are they going to have the Jeep and Ram display at the Houston Auto Show? And I'm hoping that we'll be able to get a hold of somebody from the Houston Auto Show to.
We will.
We need to talk to them
She's
next
out of
week.
town
We need
right
to talk.
now.
We need to talk to them next week. Well, it's not just her, you know. There's
Yeah, no, but she knows a lot of stuff about it. But I don't know that Houston is not, and a lot of the other shows are not like SEMA and the LA Auto Show from an expense perspective.
I understand.
I mean, they have monstrous displays and stuff at those, and they're very expensive, especially the SEMA show.
Well, the Jeep ride and drive's a pretty monstrous
It is.
display.
It is. That would be the thing. It'd probably be the first thing. To
But
go.
isn't the Houston Auto Show is Houston dealer funded though?
No,
isn't it?
well, yes,
partially?
partially.
Yeah.
Some of the manufacturers help cushion the blow, but you know,
But that's
there
been
were
less and less
there
lately.
were a lot of. Am I hearing us somewhere? Is that your phone?
It's not mine.
It's somebody's phone over there that needs to have the volume turned down. Thank you.
Professionalism.
No, my earplugs. I forgot to put my earplugs in to hear it
I see.
for the monitor.
Well, thank you. It's okay.
But I'll do that now.
Okay. No, we were talking about the Houston Auto Show.
But waiting till the
there
second.
are a lot more manufacturers that aren't showing up. For instance, last year, Cadillac. The only reason that there were a few Cadillac cars there were because the dealers themselves
Wanted to do
contributed
that.
to that. And so, to me, that's huge. I don't know how you can have a car show and not have Cadillac back your presentation at a car show. You got to have to rely on the dealers. What?
Especially when they're trying to launch the Lyric.
Yeah.
You know, that's their big new launch is the Lyric, and I don't know what the inventory looks like at local dealers. I can't imagine it's very much, but that's going to be such an important car for the Cadillac brand.
You have you checked? Are you into the car stuff at all anymore? What are you doing? What good are you?
Yeah, what do you do?
Why are you here?
What most seniors do, we kind of hang around.
Are you playing cribbage down at the country club?
Strictly shuffleboard and pickleball.
Oh, great.
No, I'm kidding now. Don't get me on that. I'm just trying
Because you
to
know
keep
all of your fans out there where you live.
both of them.
Both of them. They're going to go, he just called us out. Well, we'll show him.
It's the whole pickleball club.
You see, I can tease Bill because, well, Bill needs teasing for one, but it's always been our relationship.
Yeah.
Given a hard time.
Starting to offend me now, though, so
Well,
you need to back
okay,
up.
I'm going to back off.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah.
And with that, I think I'm going to.
Okay. Yes, please go right ahead. You're good to go. But we love you. Thank you. Conrad, do you happen to have the events calendar nearby?
Sure.
Because it's time for that.
Well, today is the
Oh, Lord.
the
Did you read this?
38th annual Wolf Creek Car and Truck Show going on in Cold Spring. It's started yesterday, today, and tomorrow. November 4th is the 4th annual Memorial Benefit Taps and Turbo Car Show at the No Label Brewing Company in Katy. Also today is the two clubs coming together for two good causes. H-Town Camaro Club and the Northside Mustang Club are meeting at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. I still haven't figured out why there's so much automotive stuff at alcohol-related places.
So is that the brewery that's in Houston?
Yeah, I-10 and
They actually have two of Kenny Bernstein's top fuel cars in the building.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't know that.
in the area where like shipping and receiving, they're all roped off. There's a lot of Kenny Bernstein, Budweiser memorabilia in that facility.
How do you get to see it?
You can go in. You can go in and ask, and they'll show it to you.
Yeah, so the H-Town Camaro Club is doing a fundraiser for fallen heroes through the 100 Club, and the Northside Mustang Club is doing their donations are going to Honor Flight Houston, who fly veterans back to the war memorials in Washington, D.C. And then Northside Mustang Club is having their fall open car show November 4th at Bull Salas Park in New Caney, Texas. Next weekend is the Octurbo Fest up in Waco, Texas. And then Veterans Weekend is the 17th annual Heroes and Hot Rods Veterans Day show in downtown Bastrop, and you can visit BastropAreaCruisers.com to learn more about that.
Thank you, sir. And time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars reviews the Kia Kona.
Just not going to leave that one alone.
Ever.
The Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. What is it? Is it a car? Is it an SUV?
This is an SUV. They've kind of quit calling things CUVs. Apparently, that's not a good word anymore.
No, it's not any good.
Everything's gone back to being an SUV. It's the GLS 450. It comes in 3 trim levels. The 450 is the base trim level for the GLS series of SUVs. And then there's the GLS 580, and then there's the AMG GLS 63. Now, this is the 4MATIC, so it is the all-wheel drive. And again, I said it's the base of the full-size luxury SUV. Now, it's a 6-passenger vehicle because it's 2, 2, and 2. It's 2 captain chairs in the second row, and then the third row has seating for 3. It comes with several different packages on it, like the AMG line package. So you got a lot of AMG body styling cues on the trim on the outside of it, the 21-inch AMG wheels. It also had the night package where you've got a lot of things blacked out like the grille, the side mirrors, the roof rails. But it also has the LED lighting package, which is pretty much standard these days. We had the panoramic sunroof. We had the power liftgate. And, again, I mentioned the 21-inch AMG 5-spoke wheels on it that look really nice. Now, you get into the inside of it. You got black leather seating. Had some brushed aluminum trim all throughout it. Now, the front seats are heated and massaging. And I used
the front seats.
Front seats, both front seats
so
are heated
you
massaging.
can be going down the freeway at 100 miles an hour and have your
speedometer says 160.
It does?
Yes.
I don't want to be in it at 160.
Now, the second
misogynistic seats.
The second row,
so to speak,
has captain's chairs as well, and they are also heated. And the third row is a power folding 50-50 arrangement that works pretty good. Has lots of nice, one of the better ambient lightings is the only reason I pointed out on the interior of it. It was fun to play with. 12.3-inch monitor, and that's where you're going to find all your convenience controls, your navigation, your surround view camera whenever you're using that. And it had the 590-watt Burmeister surround sound audio with 13 speakers in it.
It didn't have the Armstrong system in it.
No, it did not.
It's a string in a can.
Now, I will say that this one it seemed like it had a button for everything and knobs and everything. It wasn't so much on the touch screen. A lot of it was dual on the touch screen, but some of them were small. Some of it I couldn't read, and I played with it, and I finally figured out what would do what. So
that's been your problem for many years.
Many years. Trial and error got me through that. And it has USB-C ports through the whole thing. No USB-A. So if your normal USB, like you plug in your computer or something,
Wouldn't work.
It won't work. You got to have the C, or you got to have an adapter to get to a C port, front and rear. I thought, you're going to change sooner or later, but they're kind of rushing it.
And Mars always has a pocket full of adapters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, up under the hood, we had the 3.0 liter turbo that's considered a mild hybrid, and so it does out 375 horsepower this year, which is up from 362. 369 pound-feet of torque with a 9-speed transmission. Now, you properly equip this vehicle, and it'll pull 7,700 pounds.
Whoa.
And I thought that was a pretty hefty chunk, but this is a big, heavy car. The EPA says you should be looking for 19 miles to the gallon in the city, 24 on the highway, combined 21. Now, I drove this thing 356.8 miles, and I got 19.5 miles to the gallon, and I was pretty happy with that. It's lots of power, lots of smooth power that you really didn't notice too much. Now, it does come with the standard air suspension, and it does have the acoustic comfort package. So it's got increased insulation. The windshield is all insulated glass, the side glass. So it's pretty quiet on the inside with all the extra insulation, and it rides really smooth with the air suspension. Now, this is the base model, so you're going to start out at $87,000 for this vehicle. The as-tested price after we added all these trim packages was $95,720.
Oh, boy.
Base trim level.
You're kind of styling it last week.
Yeah, it was. I was good.
It's a nice truck.
But you didn't take Becky in it, and you didn't bring her over here in it.
Yes. No, I didn't bring her. We don't have it now. It's gone. We had to bring the truck.
I see.
So if you're looking for something to compare it to, you might look at the Infiniti QX80 that starts at $74,150 for the base trim level. The Cadillac Escalade sets up at $81,895 whenever you start getting into the base. Even the Lincoln Navigator is up at $87,655, and there's several more out there, and the price goes up as you get into them. So that is the 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 4MATIC. Woo-hoo.
Nice.
It was very nice. A lot of fun
If
to
you're
drive.
looking for a $100,000 SUV.
Well,
I like it. I like the styling and the view of the rear portion of it, the hatch area with the wide tires underneath there. It looks good.
it has that's a lot of the AMG styling that
Right.
comes with that package,
Very
and
nice.
it really, to me, without going up to the AMG vehicle itself, you really
You get
a
the
lot of the
appearance
looks.
package without
Yes,
the
that's really
monster
what it
motor.
amounts to, and it looks really good.
I'm looking for a story.
Well,
I think that this would be the appropriate place to put that story.
I think you should.
And it's a Mercedes-Benz story. And I haven't found it yet, but I have lots of stories.
Is this about the
Let me tell you.
UAW striking the
No,
AMG
no,
or the
no.
Let me
Mercedes
tell you a
axle
story
plant?
about
It's
finding
it's the
paperwork.
very last story. Of course it is. Mercedes-Benz aspirations to become a global electric vehicle brand show early signs of stalling in the automaker's largest EV market as retailers struggle to dent their swelling inventories. The brand reported its U.S. EV sales surged more than fourfold in the first 9 months of the year, largely because of the higher volume EQE crossover and sedan. Now that effort is flailing. Edmunds data shows Mercedes-Benz dealers in September took an average of 82 days to sell the brand's battery-powered EQ models, more than double BMW's 38-day turn rate, and significantly above the luxury segment average of 57 days. Mercedes is not alone in its predicament with EVs. Inventories are surging industry-wide as automakers introduce new models, ramp up production to meet stricter federal emission mandates for the years ahead. So, looks like EV sales have taken a little turn for the worse.
The buying public's not interested, so days supply grows, and when days supply grows, incentives grow.
This program is available 24/7 on iHeartRadio. Just search In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. And 30-minute podcasts are at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will continue right after a quick break. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy.
Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. We'll see you then.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
From the fabulous HEMI Hideout in Brookshire, Texas, it's the Ed Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, more guests from the Hideout, along with the folks from the car clubs attending today's cruise in. That's later on. And also, we'll have a look at the automotive headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
And a rare appearance by His Highness. You have to share the title. David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And joining us in the In Real Time remote broadcast studio. Did you like that? Mm-hmm. I can't hear him.
Loved it.
Did you love it?
I loved it.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, I just renamed it the remote broadcast studio here at the HEMI Hideout.
All right. Well, we're here.
You know
we're
what
ready.
I'm thinking is that what we could do, and I'm sure that everybody will love this idea, including you.
Okay.
We'll build a built-in studio for In Real Time.
I'll do that for you.
Will you?
All I need is David.
We all need David.
We all need David, but we'd be off to the races. I'll do that if you want.
I know.
We need a makeup room. We need a jacuzzi.
Oh,
we need a
why
kitchen. We need all that. Yeah.
We've got the pond out back. The pond will have to do. But I'm thinking, they do that in, certain instances, especially in New York, where they have the studios out on the street, the looking glass studio, and you can see out there.
Yeah.
So we just have it here.
Okay, we can do that.
And every time that you have an event here, well, not every time, but most events that you have here, we'll come out here and do a remote. And I'm sure that none of us have a problem driving out to Brookshire and the HEMI Hideout as long as the highway gets fixed.
I had no problem getting here this morning. I did not have a couple of stoplights. You stop at the red, you go on the green, and I made it here in 35 minutes.
You were paying attention to what you were doing. The rest of them still asleep at the wheel.
Thank you.
Totally. And I had a helper guiding me.
Well, there
through
you
the
go.
asleep at the wheel directions. Yeah. Oh, we missed it. Look, there's the recreational RV places we passed by doing 50.
GPS stands for the girl's pretty sure.
That's right. Well, the exit will be fixed by, they say January. It'll be fixed. It's a mess out there, but thanks for putting up with it.
You're such a tease. They've been saying that for how many years now?
9 years and counting.
There you go.
And it is still all tore up, especially with the walls of death trying to come out this way because there's no way to go.
The bowling alley.
Yeah, they
What?
found
The bowling alley.
Bowling alley.
they found some rare bird or frog or insect or something in the water, and that's what delayed the construction.
That's great.
But now it's okay to run over whatever the frog or it's okay. Go on
They
through.
found another one someplace
Right.
else. So this one can die.
They're really good with hollandaise sauce.
There's that.
Butter poach.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to tease something that we're going to try at the top of the hour, but you're in on this too.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about other things
You got
right now.
nothing else to do.
Because, I've noticed that there are fewer and fewer, every time we come here, there are fewer and fewer cars in here.
Well, I'm getting old, and it's time to thin things out a little bit.
You're not thinning anything out. You're just moving them out to another barn and a holding area.
Replacing is what it is.
He's got to find space for the other stuff he's collecting.
Yeah. Shelley and Diane make me clean up my mess. I'll get all this stuff, and it'll be piled up like a kid's dirty closet, and they make me clean it up. I just move it to another spot, go out and get some more junk.
Exactly. Because I'm thinking, look, in here, there aren't as many cars as there normally are in here.
Well, he's got a function going on.
I
and
know.
You have to kind of adjust things.
Yeah. And you do that, I guess, on a regular basis, don't you?
We move them out. If we get a lot of people in here, we'll move out. But these are the cars. There's one car that's missing right now.
Wait.
It goes
No,
right over
my
there.
car's still back there in the back.
Yeah.
There's an orange Super Bee from the very back. That's
Yes.
we've been driving
Back over
it.
there.
Really?
Yeah.
Where you been driving it to?
Westbury.
You have not been driving it to Westbury. Don't tease me with that. He walks in and says, oh, I had some of your friends over here last week. I said, who would that be? Oh, some people from Westbury High School.
Oh,
Duck.
So it was the pre-release prison is what it was.
Exactly. I was afraid to mention any names.
Right.
They wanna get
Don?
punched.
No, never mind. Don't even bring up Don Armstrong. No, don't do that. Well, it's great to have invited ourselves out here, and we thank we thank you for that.
We're always glad to have you, so don't ever hesitate. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
So what's the newest addition out here? You're always
Well,
finding
okay,
some new
so
toys.
You notice that boat's up there propped up?
Yep, I noticed that
That's
when I walked
new,
in.
made in 1930. It's made in Maine, and it's called a freight canoe, like to scoot items from island to island or
Let
whatever.
me just tell you something, and you can relate to this.
Okay.
Probably nobody else can, but back in the day, back in our day,
Yes.
back in high school, there used to be a cologne called Canoe.
Oh, I remember.
Do you canoe? Canoe? Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I forgot all about it. You got a memory like an elephant.
Tell her
And
that.
that's a big canoe.
That's a big canoe. You see how wide it is? It's for moving freight. And someone just told me that from Maine. Said that's a freight canoe.
Thought it was for the mother-in-law.
I thought it was a skiff or something.
Where do you have an opportunity? Where do you have an opportunity to move freight that you can get into a canoe? Now, I guess really the question is, what's the definition of freight? Because that, to me, is not freightable.
Well, in other words, on the coast of Maine, there's a lot of small islands. They would just, in the old days, they would run stuff out.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you could take your
When you were a
24-pack of
kid, don't
toilet
you remember
paper
when
and
you were
stuff
a
like that
kid?
and put it on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Well, I think back then it was more like beaver pelts and salt and things, the staples of getting you through that.
Well, again, it was 1930s,
Yeah, because there wasn't a
1940s.
Walmart out
No.
there.
It wasn't Walmart.
Only somebody from Detroit would know that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we had those all the time.
In the Detroit River.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the
Greg,
well,
but we do have some other things that we brought in here. Right here at the front door, we've got a 1916 Harley-Davidson dealership sign in pristine condition. It's cardboard. It's framed. It's in an outstanding condition. And we also have a Firestone sign out there. This Coca-Cola sign behind the lights here is 1937. That one up there, the neon up there.
Yep.
And so that's new. There's always something we got going on that brand new is new.
I was talking to your restorer, Bill Prokrobic, who's standing back there, and I said, so how do you, he's got a whole building back there full of stuff that are waiting for his touch.
Yes.
So how do you decide? He says, well, I work on this for a while, and then I can't figure something out, or I get tired of it, or I get frustrated with it, and I'll move over to something else. And then once he gets back on track with that thing, then he'll work on that some more.
Sure.
So he's got lots of projects going on at the same time.
Right.
Juggling all of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, some things can get pretty frustrating at times, but he's pretty good at knocking stuff out.
I know.
It really is. He does a lot. There's a lot of Bill's touches in this building for sure.
Well, clearly we are very well aware of that. Yeah. I love the cabinet that he built that's in the men's restroom out of nuts and bolts and wrenches and all sorts of things.
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
Pretty handy, all that furniture and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, I don't know how you got it in here because it must weigh a bajillion pounds.
It's not as heavy as it looks, but anyway, it is a little heavy, but not
that
bad.
Yeah, it's very nice.
When you're, and I'm going to call it shopping, I don't know that it's necessarily shopping, but when you're out looking for new things for the place, do you already have a location inside the building kind of selected?
I can answer that. No.
Or is it just you get it and then you got to figure out where to put it?
Sometimes if it's a round sign, we've got places to put it. No problem. But if it's something big, Bill just finished doing a big Mack truck Bulldog, 13.5 feet wide, 11.5 feet tall, porcelain neon sign. So we're going to have to take some things down on the end of the building down there to put this gigantic Bulldog up, and we'll have to do some surgery in here. So it's getting cozy and a little bit difficult to squeeze more things in. I think we're getting close to now we're trying to bring in things that are really significant or quality, and then maybe upgrade, not necessarily add more stuff, but there's still room to hang things.
Are you selling
up in
stuff?
rafters. Yeah, we're starting to sell some things too. Yeah, that's fun too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it all online?
No, we pretty much everybody knows us, and we all sell and trade. And well, like today, there'll be a bunch of people that go to Bill's shop, and we'll have a bunch of stuff for sale. Things we've taken down that we started with and upgraded, and so it ends up in his shop, and he's got a bunch of stuff too to sell. So
amazing. Because it's gotten to the point now where you're upgrading, and we thought that was quality stuff to begin with.
Well, in other words, like if you have a Phillips 66 or a Shell or Texaco, a lot of that stuff's commonplace, and you can, or Coca-Cola, you can jam it with all kinds of Coca. I don't want to put too much of one thing.
Right.
And now the rare things, you'll see things like Texas Pacific or that Idaho gasoline. Those are sure enough rare items there. Like the pure oil, that's very common. The Sky Chief sign, there's no big deal about that.
Idaho Chief gasoline.
Yes.
That's new.
That's new. That's right. That's fairly new.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That I noticed.
Yes. So see that the Chief gasoline, there was Washington gasoline, Oregon, and Montana gasoline, and Idaho is the rarest of the four. There were fewer Idaho Chief gasolines than all the rest. Washington would be the most common, Oregon would be next, Montana third, Idaho fourth.
How do you learn that stuff?
Well, in a circle. It's kind of like your craft. You just learn. And you at first you make a bunch of mistakes and you buy things you shouldn't buy or buy things from people you shouldn't buy from, and you learn, and then, you take your whipping and you keep on rolling down the road.
Right.
So it's not always a home run.
So it's relatively a tight-knit community of people that are selling these things, and you guys kind of chit-chat amongst yourselves to find out who's got the unique and quality stuff, and then you chit-chat about who's got the junk that he's pawning off as unique and quality stuff. And
people talk.
Kind of.
And we also go to auctions. So, for instance, if I kick the bucket, Diane's going to load all this stuff up. It's going to go to Pennsylvania or wherever and get sold. So normally when you buy the rare stuff, it's somebody has died or gotten a divorce or
he pointed at you.
He
pointed at you.
I didn't do it.
Or
it wasn't my fault.
Or has had some kind of financial calamity.
Tell us more about your wonderful wife.
We're still working on it.
Yeah.
Wives.
How long have you been married?
51 years, going on 52.
Wow. This is a high school.
I was but a child.
Yes. We all were at that time. But so were you all high school boyfriend?
No,
girlfriend?
she grew up in the Hill Country, Blanco, Texas, and I was from Houston.
Well, how did you two
were from
meet
the big
then?
city.
Well, I ran to the Hill Country and went into town. You know how it goes.
Don't
Don't tell me.
yeah. No, I already know.
The big city slicker in his Super B.
Listen,
Yeah.
even though I didn't really know him, I know him.
Yeah. Okay, so Conrad came up with a good point. Here I go up to Blanco, Texas. We used to have a deer lease up there. So we started going camping, me and my buddies and everything. We go to town. So I drive into town with hair down to here in a yellow Super B, and I went over like a lead balloon in Blanco, Texas.
Yeah.
Those rednecks did not like me.
Yeah, with the glass packs or the
Glass packs?
cherry bombs or
Yeah.
something that you'd put on there. There was really
Rattle the
loud.
windows driving downtown.
And he probably stuck a pair of headers on it with cutouts on it and did all that.
I couldn't figure out how to put one of those gun racks in the back window of that Super B. like those
Do you remember those days?
Yeah, I do. Everybody drove around, went to school with guns in the back of the car.
Yeah, in a rack.
And that was normal.
That's normal.
And you showed them off to everybody.
Yeah, no big deal.
And it wasn't a big deal. Oh, look, there's some redneck going down there with the gun in the back window.
Yeah.
Got to have something in the back window. Might as well have a big gun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it.
It was a different world back then.
Let's get back to the long hair.
All right.
Do you have pictures of the long hair, John?
I do indeed.
Well, we need to dig those out.
Well, I'll dig one out in just a second and show you. You won't believe it.
Shelley knows where one is. I
she's
think
on
she's
the
headed
way.
that way right now.
No, Diane does.
I'm sorry, Diane.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's interesting that when you say that, then everybody jumps to their feet and they're going to go and dig out all the ones that you haven't seen in quite
It's
a while.
ridiculous who you surround yourself by. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
believe
You get
me,
real
I know.
short.
Yeah, I'm very well aware of it.
Yeah, he says that about us all the time.
Yeah, you know, and it's truly amazing who you make friends with
Yeah.
and those that have an impact on your life through the years. Many of them just kind of
Come and go.
Yeah, they come and go.
Yeah.
But then there are those that last. Bill Seitz, where are you? He's not even listening.
back
He
there
can
in
care
the-
less. He's got his back
He's
to
back
us.
over here, yeah.
Well, see, I used to run with a bunch of guys like Don, but those guys had to go. You know,
After a
when
while.
when I got to 21 years old, those guys got to be put on a shelf. you know.
Yeah, they're all,
I
doing
don't
7
know.
to 12 up at the Walls unit, right?
The Walls. That's right. Yes, I flew over the Walls unit here not too long ago. That was interesting.
See anybody you knew?
No, not that I could recognize.
Stop and give anybody a lift.
No, none of that. But I didn't realize that there were a lot of prisons up there. So, John, we still have a chance. We could pick
Yeah,
one. There's got to be half a dozen of them up there.
That's right.
Yeah, there's
Save me a spot.
Yeah, well, always.
So you were saying you've got one of the cars that you're kind of out cruising around in a bit?
Yeah, 69 and a half lift-off hood. Remember the 446-pack
The
Super B?
B12, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, A12.
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 Is that not the green one? No, the green one's over
It's
there.
the orange one that's in the very back there. So
Okay.
I decided I'm going to get that out and cruise around a little bit and been having fun with that. So I need to drive it. You know, if you don't drive them, they go to pot.
That's
So I've got 4 of them that I can get out and drive. The rest of them I got to drop the tank, clean the gas out, rebuild carburetors, are ready to go.
Because you don't drive them enough.
That's right. I'm getting lazy and old, and they're not as
Well, I
important to
imagine
drive.
that it attracts attention when you're out driving around in it.
Sure, just like the Oldsmobile.
Everybody stops to look at it and take a picture
Yeah.
of it and ask you questions about it.
Yeah, because these days you can only get a white, black, or silver car, you know, and if you got a yellow one or an orange one or something that stick out
Something
like a sore
unique.
thumb.
Well, he said he had 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Mike, you're out.
You know, I think one of our first ventures down at Houston Autorama
Yes.
featured your green car.
That's right.
And we're kind of looking, and I haven't talked to Mars about this. I think that we're kind of looking around. That's you?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Go here. Somebody take that, walk that up to that camera. He needs to walk. That's you. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Hold it up in front of that camera there so the whole world can.
Hey,
Oh,
let's don't run the crowd off.
John, really?
Beautiful, huh?
Yeah, your parents are proud.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, just hold it right up there in front of that camera.
A little closer.
Can you
a
see
little
that?
closer.
Yeah, there.
Perfect. A little lower. A little lower.
Little lower.
Uh-oh, it just went away.
Screen went dark.
The screen went dark.
That's good.
There it is.
There it is.
Wow.
That's John.
Beard
Oh,
and
my
a long
Oh,
hair.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, what year was that?
That was probably 1975 or 6.
Looked
or
like the
something.
bass player to Kansas.
Yeah. Well,
Or Jesus.
Charles Manson. Yeah, that's where it
Charles
looked more like him. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
I thought I was swinging the world by the tail, driving around that Super B, you know, listening
yeah.
to Rolling Stones and get off my cloud.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're still doing
jamming
that.
to the tunes with your Jensen triaxles in the back.
That's true.
And you still have those on an 8-track somewhere.
They're in the car.
You're right. I do have some on 8-track somewhere. I don't know where they are, but it's still my favorite music. You know, it's like these cars we all talk about. They're in your soul, whatever you drove young, and then the music we all listen to. So I still like the early Rolling Stones. Could care less about the late stuff or going to one of their concerts.
So what would you think that I would be listening to in my 1965 Corvair?
Tiny Bubbles.
Some Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Don
Ho, Tiny Bubbles.
Yeah, Don Ho.
I saw Don Ho in a TV show. I think it was the Partridge Family recently. I was flipping channels, and who's that guy?
And he stopped to watch it.
I had to. And it was Don Ho. You know, I wanted to talk briefly about this band of heathens, and I mean that in a kind way.
Oh, indeed.
That you've collected here at the HEMI Hideout. Some you knew before the Hideout, I assume.
That's true.
And others have kind of glommed on like me, us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Well, and you know, it's interesting because, and I was trying to share this with Leslie, the fact that the car community has brought a different segment of my life, great joy, and it still continues today. This car show, for instance, these guys, it's all because of cars.
Yeah, a brotherhood indeed. I wouldn't trade our group. We've got like 30 people in our group, more or less, and I wouldn't trade them for love or money. This has been the ride of our lives inclusively. We all have ownership in HEMI Hideout.
Yep.
We're proud of it, and so many people have contributed heart and soul. Like my buddy Tom Queen here, we've traveled all over the United States and gathered up all this stuff, and Bill Seitz, Bill Prokopic, you just go on. You guys, thank you so much. It really is a team effort. Nobody whips the world by themselves.
Well, and Sykes had mentioned when he was here earlier that, you know, it's a family. You know, it's for you. It's not just friends. These people have all become, you know, an internal family for you.
Sure.
And the way that you talk about them, you can hear that you're passionate about them and grateful that they're part of it.
And one other thing in that people enjoy is the network that brings people together. It's the car. It's the automobile. It's the travel. I mean, you could go everything from travel to car to maintenance to whatever. There aren't very many things left that people can glom onto that actually say, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing, everlasting community.
Sure.
It is.
We believe in when you walk in the door, have a warm reception. We try to engage with people who don't engage very well. And when you leave, a warm exit when you leave. And this group is part of the success of HEMI Hideout. There's no question about it. I like having a certain personality in our group that will engage with people when they come in. And it's not just to come in here and walk out and no one says a word to you.
And then there's us. You're going, what have I done?
How did these people get through the door?
Yeah, these morons. Well, I will say this, that if it weren't for Bill Seitz, I would know you. Mm-hmm. And when he called me that day, he said, listen, I wanted to let you know that I'm working on this project. Well, how many times have you heard that? And in a car life, you know, you got this guy that, you know, put a few signs up in his garage at the house and maybe put, you know, a 6-inch lift in there so you can get underneath the car. Yeah. And that was his project. And I had no clue. I had no clue what to – he wouldn't really expand on the definition of what this was.
Yes.
He says, you're going to love it. He's a car guy through and through. I think that you guys would really like each other. And so I said, okay. So the time came when I finally got the invite in the early days of the Hideout and came out here and met you. And I felt a connection from the very beginning. Yeah. And I think that all of us do. And everybody that comes out here, the people that know you. And the interesting thing about it is that you've become nationwide now. You've had interviews with some very famous people on television shows across the United States. And I think that comes through. And I would imagine that you've probably gotten emails and letters and that sort of stuff from people that you don't even know because of that exposure.
It's unbelievable. We get people from all over the world. You know, it's a world society now, you know. But you're right. Just the connections you make, the doors you open, you can't stop doing that as long as you do it all your life.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the better off you are.
Did you
Life's
have any
sweet.
idea that it would turn into this when you started building this?
This is going to be a man cave, and then, okay, that's done, go do something else. And then people started coming, and every day we do tours Monday through Friday at 9:30 to 11, and then 1 to 2:30, and there's constant flow of people coming in here. Life is good.
Yeah.
Very
And when
good.
that freeway gets done, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, if it ever gets done, like you say.
And when does the highway department say it's going to be done?
They say it's going to be January that our exit will be open.
I
and,
saw this concrete
But they
there.
did not say what year.
That's
They just said January.
Mike,
January.
come on, man.
Well, hopefully it'll be. So our goal in the present moment is to get up. Mr. Mars is going to join us, and we're going to kind of do a little walk around and see how far we can get in the walk around in the next segment. Is he good with that?
Sure.
I want to get this in before the people start really
no
coming
worries,
in
no
here.
worries. They'll be coming soon.
Because you'll get real busy here a little bit.
Talk about some of the highlights.
Yeah, so we can go around and see some of the cars and some of the stuff that's on the walls and that sort of stuff.
Very good.
All right. Thank you, John Hovas. He's the curator here at the HEMI Hideout. Did you like that?
I like that.
That just popped right
Yeah,
into my
it
head
did.
for some unknown reason, because nothing pops into my head anymore. Let's see. I wanted to give you some headlines before we go to the break. Some recalls. Volkswagen Atlas for 2019 being recalled because of a side airbag may deploy improperly and hang out the window when you're going down the freeway at 90 miles an hour. Roof rail airbag inflator may rupture on a Buick and a Chevrolet. The Buick is the Verano, the Chevy is the Cruze for 2014. What in the world is a roof rail airbag inflator?
That's
It's on the top.
yeah. It's for rollover protection.
But it's inside the car.
Yeah, it's like a
To
curtain.
me, a roof rail is out on the outside.
Well, no, but this is the roof rails on the inside.
Sort of
It's
airbag,
for
yeah.
rollover protection.
Got it. Vehicle rollaway from a drive shaft disconnect.
Oops, that's not good.
That's not good. That would be on the Ford Explorer from 2020 to 2022. Mercedes-Benz AMG SL55 and 63 from 22 to 23. Improperly secured electrical wiring harness. That could be
That's a
ugly.
thermal event.
It could waiting
in
to
your
happen.
$200,000
Yeah,
AMG.
it's very possible.
Ford Motor Company recalling nearly 35,000 Mustang Mach-E electric crossovers in the U.S. because the high-voltage battery contactor might overheat, resulting in a loss of motive power. What is a contactor?
Connector, where two wires or two circuits come together. That
With the touch.
right.
Yeah. The recall
Contact.
covers 2021 to 22 Mustang Mach-E's equipped with extended range battery and comes after NHTSA in August launched an investigation into Ford's handling of a June 22 recall of nearly 50,000 of the automaker's high-profile EV.
So they're recalling the recall.
Yep, again. And there's more of those going more and more so every day.
I just had
I
this.
thought-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The stabilizer link recall on my car just this past week.
And what
That's
year
why-
is your car?
13. And I was at the Cadillac dealership during the Lyric event, and it worked out where I was watching all these nice, beautiful automobiles, the best in the world, Cadillac.
That was a commercial that you just
I think I
slipped
just
in there.
did, yeah.
Did you get to sit in one?
I did. I took pictures, sent them to you guys.
Yeah, well, I got
I didn't go on the test drive or anything.
Did
'cause
you
it
get your stabilizer link
Oh,
fixed?
yeah, it was all good stuff, yeah.
They brought it in, replaced it, and
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
Does it drive differently now?
I didn't think it would be noticeable, but it kind of is.
Is
Kinda
it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Stabilizer link. So is it kind of like a
It's like-
sway bar or
yeah,
something?
it's like almost like a
It's the connector between the sway bar and the lower control arm.
yeah.
Gotcha.
There's some kind of recall.
Odd 10 years later. All right. We're going to take a quick break now. We'll be right back.
For 10 years after, if you're into rock bands.
There you go.
Okay, thank you for that. We're going to take a quick break now here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows, at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. We'll see you then.
You guys.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts, plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows, at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
From the fabulous HEMI Hideout in Brookshire, Texas, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And coming up, we have guests from the Hideout along with folks from the car clubs attending today's cruise in. And there's more and more people walking in as we speak. Got to drive the 2023 new GMC Canyon pickup. I'll give you my thoughts on it. Conrad has the cruise in calendar. And we'll also have This Week in Auto History. Later, stories making automotive news headlines this week. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Raise your hand, Jeffrey.
I'm over here.
There you go. There he is. And we have Chief Engineer David Ainsley with us today. I don't know what he's doing, but giving me a hard time.
He's making things difficult.
He's making things up. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today from the HEMI Hideout, Brookshire, Texas. Oh, my God, I-10, the Katy Freeway. It'll never, ever be done. It is a ongoing, and it's just right out here where we are.
This short little stretch.
Because once you get out here, that's when it all goes to hell in a handbasket.
They
and then right past here opens up wide open.
They created some nice little chicanes you can go through and all that.
With walls right next to your car, no runoff area. No. You get in a wreck, it screws up the whole world. Who designs construction in a freeway like this? Who does that?
The concrete companies, because they're always in business doing this.
It is the most bizarre, messed up, jacked up thing
and then you got some knucklehead behind you that it's right on your bumper.
Or like this morning.
That was me, Jeff.
Oh, that was you.
Like this morning, I'm going down the and who is it? There's somebody on my left rear bumper. Following. I speed up, he speeds up. I slow down, he slows down.
Yeah.
What is that?
He goes, I'm in his blind spot. I'm going to stay here just to torment.
Who does that?
It was Conrad. Again.
It wasn't Conrad. It wasn't Conrad.
No,
he doesn't.
Because I pass people. At speed, I pass people.
Well, we know that. There's no doubt about that. We were going to have a very nice little segment here, but we've come to find out that we can't do it because we have no connection.
He's working.
Is he working on it?
He's working on the audio.
So we're going to let him continue to do that while I do a segment here on Hemmings Marketplace Sold Cars Roundup. I have two right off the bat, one for Conrad and one for Jeffrey.
All right.
This was sold a week before last, a 1964 Oldsmobile F85. So explain to everybody what an F85 is.
So the A body, the Cutlass body, the F85 was the entry level to the Cutlass body.
I see.
And that was
So
kinda
did they sell
true.
the Cutlass at the same time?
Yeah, but the F85 was the stripper version of the Cutlass.
Okay.
And then they'd have the Cutlass and then the Cutlass S, and then over time it became the Cutlass Supreme as each level of Cutlass increased.
Well, it's interesting
content.
because this reminds me of a Skylark that my
Same-
parents had. Same body.
A-body.
Yeah. The only thing really different about it is the grill and the back end.
And the taillights. Yeah, and that was
Taillights,
the difference in all of the GM A-bodies.
So how much do you think fairly stock-looking 64 Oldsmobile F85 would sell for?
18,000.
So I was going to say 17.
How about 8,500?
Oh, okay.
Well, that's cheap.
8,500. Well, I'm going to do this now, and then. But you're ready to go?
We think so.
Oh my gosh!
It worked.
It
Hello.
worked. Let me do
Mike
that again.
has magic
Do it
in his
again?
fingers.
Do it again.
At my age, I can only do it so many times.
Becky?
Yeah, no,
Easy,
she's not
easy.
listening, and she is here. So
Good thing I forgot she was here.
yeah, yeah. Well, I will remind you that she's here,
She
and if she's
knows.
not,
Thank
she's
you.
listening. Okay, so for Jeff, we have a '64 Cadillac Coupe DeVille.
Oh, DeVille was like that was the stripper version of the DeVille.
The Cadillac.
And what year again, sir?
It's a '64, and then it's a convertible.
And a coupe
Oh.
DeVille.
And
not
a coupe
sedan.
DeVille.
Let's go 12.
12, and you?
I'll say because it's a convertible, I'll say 17.
Okay, how about 26 250?
Wow, way off. Way off.
26,000. It's a nice looking. It looks all stock and everything.
Yeah.
You can take that home.
I'm going to sleep on it.
Okay.
It won't fit in a garage today.
No, it won't.
No, it will not.
It is pretty.
Okay, here's one. This is for you, David. It's a convertible.
It's a minivan.
1998 Chevrolet Corvette. That's a C5. Okay? That's a C5. And any guesses as to what this went for? It's a convertible C5. Looks like stock. It's nothing. It is not a ZR1 or a Z06 or any of that sort of stuff. Just a stock convertible Corvette C5.
David?
I can't hear you.
18.
David says 20, and you say 18.
18.
12.
It sold for $13,650.
Without going over.
I don't know. Probably not necessarily. You know, I didn't pay very much
Take
for
it
my
from somebody
C5,
who
and it
owns
only
one.
had at the time 16,000 miles on it.
Which was low mileage.
Yeah, it is.
It still has low mileage.
A 1964 Chevrolet Impala, purple in color. It's a two-door, but it's got the stock hubcaps on it. What do you think that sold for?
30.
Jeff?
$7,000.
16,000. Purple. Oh,
That's
God.
what lowered the price for
Yeah.
me.
Okay, we're gonna stop there, and I'm going to get out of my chair, and you guys can fill until I. Am I going to be able to?
I got to
hear,
fill. I got to fill.
Am I going to be able to? Am I going to be able to? I'm not going to be able to hear anything. Just the microphone and to John. Do you have John? Is John mic'd, or am I using that
No,
mic?
you're
Using
mic.
the stick mic.
One mic.
Stick mic. Here we go. And here's the fill. Update on Andretti, Conrad. Andretti will not be left without an F1 engine. Now, what is going on is that they're going to give him an opportunity for different builders. The Alpine and Honda are the engine builders.
Yeah.
And what is happening is they don't want to be part of Andretti. So FIA says, okay, you're going to pick one, and then you can build your own as you use these. So General Motors is going to be building an engine. Probably in the next 3 to 4 years, he'll have a GM Cadillac.
See, and originally I had heard that it was going to be the Honda, which is also the engine that McLaren's currently using.
Right. McLaren's not happy either.
No,
and-
neither one of them would be.
Right.
Which is odd because to me, I would think the more people that are spending money on the engine would mean the more development work could be performed on the engine and the more power can be created. I mean, it's one of the reasons that the Mercedes engine is so good because it's like of the, 11 teams in F1.
Well, there will be
five
now,
or,
yeah.
5 or 6 of them are using Mercedes power plants.
It originally started out that Renault was going to give him the engine, and Renault didn't finish the paperwork. They didn't submit it on time, and now the FIA says, well, you got 2 choices. You got Alpine and Honda. So we'll see which one he picks. So.
I would assume they'll go with Honda because that was the original.
I would assume
the original
so too.
thought.
Yeah.
And the Honda engine's becoming competitive because you've looked at, now McLaren, that was always a mid-pack car, is now qualifying in the top 10 over and over again. So I would think he would choose the Honda.
And I think the boys are ready. So I'm going to flick this over to a remote camera, and we'll see what you're on.
Donnie, you're on.
You're good.
Okay, well, thank you very much. John is taking care of one of the guests that are here, and we are going to either talk with him about the cars or the signs. John's going to run off and get somebody, but at any rate, we are going to be here, and we're going to show everybody some of the highlights of the HEMI Hideout that we normally don't do because Mr. Mars has absconded with a camera.
Okay.
He stole it from somebody over there in Neaterville.
He borrowed
Anyway,
it.
all right, so what do you want to start? You want to do the Challenger?
We can.
Oh, no, but you had something in mind.
No, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, so for those that don't know, this has got a shaker hood. So you can explain.
Okay, so this is a 1970 Challenger RT convertible. They only made 11 of them in 1970. Convertible HEMI Challengers. This is not real. This is a replica. It's got an aftermarket HEMI engine, born a 383, but it's been rebuilt completely to spec as it would be a HEMI. It won the New England's Concours d'Elegance first place prize for Dodge.
Nice.
But it's a replica.
Yeah, and it's a convertible, and that's what really makes it rare.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, we have to go back here and show the Roadrunner. Let's go. Mars, you go that way, we'll go this way. And the reason that we need to show this car is because of the huge wing and the nose, and this is what makes this car different, and I'll let you explain this car.
Okay, so this is a 1970 Roadrunner Superbird, and they made 1,840 of these back in 1970. They had to have one for every Plymouth dealership in America in order to race them in NASCAR. All were 444 barrels, 277 were 446 packs, that's what this is, and 77 Hemis that year.
And this was all to race in NASCAR and win like no tomorrow, and they were ultimately outlawed.
Exactly. They dominated in 1970, and it was Dodge, Plymouth, Dodge. HEMI had to go. Superbird was gone. The wing cars. That was the end of the show.
Well, because it was all about the aerodynamics, and that's why it looks so weird.
That's right. Exactly. It looks strange on the street.
I know it does, and it looks even stranger when you see it in person because you don't really realize how high up the bumper is off of the ground.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. This is an orange. Is that a Coronet?
That's a Dodge Coronet Super Bee, 1970. They made 34 HEMI Super Bees in 1970. These are really rare because only 34 were built. So we have 2 of the 4 remaining in the Chrysler registry that are numbers matching cars.
Sweet. All right, so I want to get a couple more of these before we leave the automobile business. Let's go. What?
Good story on the purple one here.
Let's go back here to the purple one.
Okay.
This is it's a 446 pack. Oh, and it's got the special hood on it.
Yes, absolutely. Grabber hood. So 1970 Roadrunner convertible. Again, back in the day, there were a lot of 383 convertibles, but only 32 446 pack convertibles, only 1 HEMI that year. And so this is really rare to find. This was bought in 1970. 2 months later, was stolen, taken for a joyride, and then they ditched it in a river, and it stayed there 25 years until the river went down the top of the windshield sticking out, and they pulled it out. So it's a 446 pack is like finding a diamond. Really a rare car.
And I can imagine it was probably in horrible condition.
It was in horrible condition. It's been reskinned. It's still a numbers matching original, though. Wow. Just a jewel of a car.
That's truly amazing. Hey, while we're down here, Mars, let's bring everybody over here and look at a couple of signs, can we? If you don't mind, Mr. Mars. Since Mr. Mars is the one that is actually over here running the camera, and this is something new for us. But I wanted to look at And this is my favorite sign at this end of the building. I have several of them, but the Buster Brown shoes.
Okay, so a good story on Buster Brown shoes. They were out of St. Louis, Missouri, one of the first nationally distributed products in the United States. They were in every small town America throughout the United States before UPS Brown trucks, FedEx trucks, or computers in every small town. Amazing, but they were centrally located in St. Louis. Everybody remembers Buster Brown shoe.
Yeah.
We had Red Goose shoes, and we also had Paul Parrott shoes in a larger city.
Oh my gosh, Paul Parrott, yes, I remember.
But that's because we're from the Houston area, but if in the country, Buster Brown. Everybody remembers Buster Brown.
Well, I had Buster Brown in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Okay, and I want to particularly see this one because it caught my attention. This one here, the Coney Island one. Yes. Mr. Mars, you're going to have to go around this way and show that sign. Coney Island.
Okay, so Coney Island, that is actually a Coney Island sign, but we had to make the Coney Island Brookshire, New York, and we added all the neon. We got a little bit carried away with the neon. That's why it's hidden back here in the back. But it's a cool piece. We just went overboard with neon. But a cool piece from Coney Island.
And by the way, Mr. Mars, if you could swing the camera around and look at the Paul Parrott up there in the corner, that's Paul Parrott that we were looking at.
Normally in towns of, say, 100,000 or more, you would see Paul Parrott or Red Goose shoes. But, again, Buster Brown was everywhere.
Well, I like the Rio Grande cracked gasoline.
Okay, that was the first branded gasoline ever sold in the United States out of Santa Barbara, California. They sold gasoline in Southern California and Arizona. And the sponsor for the radio show, Calling All Cars, back in the day.
Calling all cars, calling all cars.
That's right. Rio Grande Gasoline was a sponsor, and they advertised high-performance cracked gasoline. All gasoline is cracked. That's what the fire departments and the Rio Grande cracked gasoline.
Cracked gasoline. You got to have some cracked gasoline. Okay, and Mars, I want to come back here because this is part of the John Hovas collection here at the HEMI Hideout. There's a couple of things back here. Well, actually, three things that I want to. One is this pickup truck back here. Tell me.
37 Plymouth, all original steel. Most of these cars would have by now, so it's significant. It's all steel. Plymouth in the pickup. Need to get.
Yeah, they're kind of getting behind some walls on us, and
Suede.
we can't hear them. So Jeff's gone to
So
tell them.
I've been told that we're losing signal, so I need to be out here. But Mr. Mars, I want to talk about the chuck wagon.
Okay.
So if you could show the chuck wagon, sir.
Yeah, chuck wagon is 1860. We bought this from a man in Bixby, Oklahoma, and just a cool piece. An interesting thing about these wagons, it has wood spokes, wood hubs, wood spokes, wood wheels, and the metal band around the wheel that most wagon wheels have. That metal band played two purposes. It made the wheel more durable, but the main reason was to tie the wood components together, and that's where the name tire came from.
So therefore, the blacksmith would do that.
That's right. They would heat up that ring and swell it out, and then it would shrink down on there. But again, that's where that was the first original tire.
Awesome. Now, probably one of my favorite pieces here at the HEMI Hideout is this Dodge pickup truck. It's a power, and you're fine. Mr. Mars is shooting the pictures back there behind us. But tell us about this.
1947 Dodge Power Wagon. I absolutely love these trucks. They look so cool. They started right after World War II. They were military vehicles, and 46 was the first year that they offered to the public. And even up until 1977, the same body style. They hadn't changed all those years. But just a cool, everyone wants a Power Wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a great design. Is this a 3/4 ton or 1 ton?
I'm not sure what the capacity was, but it was one of the few. You had the REO Speedwagon, you had the Diamond T, heavy-duty trucks, and the Power Wagon. All the rest were the small, little, flimsy stuff, but just a cool truck.
There's no doubt about it. John, thank you for this little brief tour of part of the HEMI Hideout. So what we're going to do now, Mr. Mars, is we're going to walk back over to our set piece over here where a home base, so to speak. We're going to go back over here.
Yeah,
thank you, John.
And I know a little bit of the story about the Power Wagon.
No, we're not done?
I know a little bit.
This is driftwood.
Yes, actually it's a cypress tree that floated down the Arkansas River during a flood, wedged where the Arkansas meets the Mississippi. Somebody had a recovery boat and pulled that tree out of there, and they sawed the tree in two and then trimmed all the roots off and then sawed the bottom, made a heavy base, just a cool table, an unusual, one of the eclectic pieces we have at HEMI.
Where would you find something like that?
Well, you got to have connections.
For God's sakes. Thank you, John. John Hovas, Mr. HEMI Hideout himself, ladies and gentlemen. So while I make my way back over here, I'm sorry, did you lose us?
No, you're good. You're good. Okay. Well, one of the things I also know about that Power Wagon is I believe that was a Concours Power Wagon that scored, and I can't remember if it was 998 or 995 out of 1,000. So you talk about almost a perfect Power Wagon in John's collection.
It looks like it just came out of the showroom.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's truly
and then as you
amazing.
kind of wander around, it's not everything automotive here. John's got a heart for Americana and just unique things. He's got a stunningly beautiful petrified wood table over there.
Yep.
That it's
No,
just
we just talked about that. Yeah.
No, that was the
Driftwood.
cypress. The
Okay.
driftwood.
Talk about
got
the table they're sitting around. I like the polar bear. I'm going to get a picture with the polar bear before I
Yeah,
leave.
you do
I was
that.
attacked by a bear up in the UP. Did you know that?
A what?
In the UP, in the Upper Peninsula. I was attacked, yeah. Statue, and it kind of almost fell on me.
Of course it did. All right, let's do the cruise-in calendar, shall we? Let's try to stay on time here.
So
what do you got?
Customs and Coffee Trilogy Brew in Spring, Texas is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Also tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. is Trucks and Tri-Fives meet at 501 South Austin Avenue in Georgetown. So for our listeners up in the Austin area, you want to go see some beautiful Tri-Fives, head on up to Georgetown and look at them. The car meetup at the D&M True Value at 400 West Montgomery in Willis, Texas is tomorrow at 6
You
p.m.
talking about Willis?
I knew he was going there.
And then at noon tomorrow is Cruise Old Tomball on Main Street. And just gather up and cruise. It's a free cruise through Tomball, but I'll give you a warning. Be careful. The police there love revenue collection. The Car Church at Segundo Coffee Lab, 711 Millby is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And then Turbo Tuesday at Twin Peaks at Lewis Henna Boulevard in Round Rock is on the 24th at 7 p.m. Back to you, Don.
Thank you so much, Conrad. Okay, time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2023 GMC Canyon. Sound familiar, Mars?
This is like the third
This will be
Canyon.
the third one.
Yeah. There's been a plethora of canyons.
Or that, yeah.
Theoretically.
It's a Grand Canyon.
Plethora.
Theoretically,
it's a plethora.
Plethora.
I had my plethora changed one time. It was
Really?
great. Oh, yeah.
Did it help?
I broke
now you
mine.
can get shots for it.
2023 GMC Canyon. It comes in these trim levels: Elevation, AT4, AT4X, and the Denali. And I will tell you that each trim level is different. There's a lot of differentiation between the four trim levels. Let me put it that way. This is the AT4, and this would be your everyday camper kind of guy. This would be the regular go-to, most popular.
This would be the volume truck
volume
for the
truck.
Canyon.
Okay, it's a small pickup truck. It has places for 5 folks to fit in there, including the driver. Exterior changes from last model year. Well, complete redesign for 2023. And for 24, it's a carryover. Exterior features, best-looking small pickup truck on the market, in my opinion.
I agree.
Bulging fenders with black wheel opening trim. Sharp tire and wheel combos throughout all of the trim levels. It looks off-roady, and I think that you really want to have that kind of look. At
Gives it a
pickup
menacing
truck.
look.
Yeah. Front skid plate with a manly grille. Now, the skid plate on the AT4 is not the same skid plate that you'll find on the AT4X, which is a true off-road. It's kind of a glamour piece, if you will, up there. What I liked about it, I like the tailgate storage compartment and the bumper steps. There is a storage compartment that is closable and lockable. It's part of the tailgate, but it's on the inside of the tailgate.
Making use of unused space.
It's not very deep, but you can put stuff back there.
Yeah, you can put shoes back, wet shoes, wet clothes, wet towels.
Beers.
One guy figures he could. I was showing it too. Said he thought his rifle would fit back there if it got muddy or something.
Duct tape and rope, yeah.
Yeah, all
Anything
that
you
stuff. Shovels? No,
Uh-huh.
shovels go in the rest of it.
Hidden compartments for any kind of illegal substances. All that is included in the availability.
Ready-made.
Ready-made.
Made for Michigan.
Interior highlights. Multi-gender attractive dash.
What?
Did you like that?
Is that what they called
Did you
it?
just make that up?
I did. Did you like it?
No.
I don't know.
No, we're going to go with the multi-gender because Leslie likes it. I like it. That would make it multi-gender.
She looks like she likes it. That look on her face.
You were kind of scared by that, weren't you? Why were you scared? What scared you about it? Because today, have you gone to your insurance company and looked at the choices that you have when it comes to gender now? There's got to be like a dozen different genders. I thought there were only 2.
No,
On
I
a
think
California driver's license, there were 54 choices.
I was
going to
say there's a lot more.
Okay,
than
so
54 choices.
So make fun
Conrad's
of me,
got
but this
53
is a
of them.
multi-gender attractive dash with a big infotainment screen. Okay? That's what
how
I'm going
big is
with.
Gotcha.
It's big. It takes up half the center console area. Easy to access wireless phone charging, comfortable seats with attractive materials and designs. Gear shift and four-wheel drive controls, easy to control, and nice placement on the center console. Cargo, small bed, but adequate for most. What I liked, actually, I liked all of it, except the gas gauge is hard to read.
Oh.
I had to find something wrong with it, but that's true.
Well,
The gas gauge is
the
now. I
whole
will
gauge cluster is a little different.
well, in the AT4, the instrument cluster is a different layout than it is in the AT4X.
Oh, okay,
The AT4, the display itself is rectangle,
right.
where the AT4X, it takes up the whole screen. It's different. But in both of them,
Which
the gas
means
gauge
that-
is too dang small.
So that means the Denali is even different from that because the Denali is what I had.
I don't know.
It wasn't like that.
Engine, 2.7-liter turbocharged four-cylinder with 310 horsepower, which is a lot for a four-banger. 430 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot. 8-speed automatic transmission. It will tow up to 7,700 pounds.
How'd you like it?
I loved it. I absolutely
Did
did.
it stay in
And
the right gear?
Yep. And it didn't hunt for gears. Very minimal turbo. They did good.
Well tuned.
Yep, they did good on this one. And you know me, I'm real sensitive to that kind of stuff because I had a car recently, I don't remember which one it was, but it was a complete disconnect between start-stop, the transmission, and the engine, and with the turbocharged engine.
And that 2.7 turbo four-cylinder is the base engine in the Silverado now.
It's plenty. Trust me, it works real good. 17 miles per gallon city, 21 highway for combined of 19. That's what it's rated. I got 20 miles per gallon over 729 miles.
Well, you don't drive like
why
Hot
that
Rod
long?
over here.
Because I got saddled with it for 2 weeks.
Ah.
Because GM asked me if I would mind if they kept the Buick that I had scheduled because they had some other place for it. I said, that's fine. Because I like the truck. Powertrain works well together. Ride and handling, smoother than the AT4X, but you would expect that because the AT4X is the off-road vehicle.
More suspension.
More suspension, shocks, that sort of thing. This is the truck for everybody.
Well, I'll tell you, like I mentioned last week, my wife liked that truck, wanted to know if we could keep it, and now she's comparing everything I get to that truck.
Yeah. Well, I can understand why.
Yeah.
They're going to sell everyone that can make it more. What could use improvement in ride and handling? Nada. Base trim price, $43,900. Price as tested, $49,355. Yes, it had many extras lapped onto it. Now you can get into the Canyon for $36,600. That's the base gut level price of the thing. Competitors: Chevy Colorado for $29,200, Ford Ranger for $29,585, and the Toyota Tacoma is $29,430. They're all right in there. This is a step above the Chevrolet because the Chevrolet is more competitive with what I just told you.
It was in an attractive color, too. That's a lot. The eyeball is a lot to do with it.
Agreed.
Right.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. We'll see you then.
We're done. Okay. We're done with that, and we're moving on. From the fabulous HEMI Hideout in Brookshire, Texas, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, more guests from the Hideout, along with folks from the car clubs attending today's cruise in. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you caught up on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike, Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Don't we, Jeffrey?
Yep, we do.
We do. I'm Don Armstrong, along with our fabulous chief engineer, David Ainsley. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Good to be seen.
And
It's better than being shown, too.
Yeah.
That's true. That would normally happen at a funeral home, wouldn't it? You get
right.
shown.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Glad
just
you caught
saying.
that, Don.
Thank you.
Had to work through it, but you got it.
I did have to work through it. Anyway, Mr. Mars has a guest for us.
Yes, sir. You know, John was talking earlier about his family, the HEMI Hideout family, and the friends and everybody that's contributed to this and being part of the family. And so joining us now is Jerry Guthrie, one of those friends that's been around and has maybe a little bit different aspect on the things that go on here and how they've gone on. Jerry, glad you could join us.
Well, it's good to be with you.
Jerry, how long have you known John?
I guess probably 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
So right after right before the Hideout opened.
Yeah,
about the same time.
It was about the time it finished. We got to know John and Diane.
So how did that all take place? How did you get the introduction?
We heard about the HEMI Hideout through one of the car clubs, and we come out here one day and called Shelley and made an appointment, and John was here and gave us a personal tour, and we just got to be friends and been friends ever since.
Where do you live?
We live now between Woodlands and Conroe. We was living in Katy at the time, but we moved up there about 7 years ago.
Why?
More trees.
'Cause you could.
More trees, a few hills, but no, we like it up there. But we still get down here a lot and spend a lot of time with John.
I know, because I know the true answer. You just wanted the challenge of the I-10 Katy Freeway out here.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Brookshire.
Right.
Dude, you need to have a map that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
No, he just wants to drive 85 on
no.
99.
From Conroe,
That's
maybe
it.
you could go out west and kind of come in on the interstate from this way, make a loop out.
Yeah, we actually come down 362, take the back roads. It's a leisure drive and takes maybe a few minutes longer. But
Now, are
it's
you a car guy?
Yeah, I've got a Corvette, a 2012 Grand Sport, but
Nice.
not the
that's a
Mopar,
car.
but yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay, because I'm a Corvette guy, too.
Okay.
I have a C5.
Okay, mine's a C6.
I know. Thank you for rubbing it in. But that's okay. Yeah? Is it in the garage? Do you have it covered up most of the time?
Yeah, I keep it covered up.
You
But
didn't bring it down here today, I hope.
No, I didn't, but I do bring it down some.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. By the way, while we're here, I want you to know that I retrieved my Corvette on Thursday with the help
standing
They fixed
O.
the drain.
of Leslie. Yes. Guess what it was? The seat, the driver's seat. And it was a corroded connection under the seat, and it looked like it was rusted because of the moisture. Because, I keep that car under a cover. Unfortunately, I don't have a garage to put it in, so I have it under a cover. Well, most of the time in Houston, Texas, it's wet all the time.
Yeah, the humidity.
Now you need to put some Ridex in there.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. But so we got the seat switch. That was it? Nope. It wasn't the seat
It was the
switch.
connector.
It was the connection underneath that did all of that damage and drained the battery all the time. I had to have it on a charger.
Yeah.
What a pain. But have you run any issues like that? How many miles you have on your car?
I've only got just right at 18,000.
That's
so
nothing.
yours is like mine.
Yeah.
I bought it at 16, and now it's got 34, I think.
Okay.
On it. But I don't drive it very much.
Yeah, we just take it on some leisure trips and, coming down here once in a while, go for a Sunday drive.
Well, I've got a suggestion for you.
Okay.
That you and your spouse join us on the road trip,
Hot Rod Tour.
Hot Rod Tour in Texas. That comes up in the spring,
Late March, early.
April.
April.
Yeah, right around April. And it starts off.
Last weekend in April, as a matter of fact.
You're right. It starts off in Victoria, and then I don't know where it's going to go this year, but it's a 2-day. Is it a 2-day or a 3-day? 3-day. Yeah.
You leave Friday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday cruise.
That sounds fun.
And some of
It
the
is- it
attendees
is.
extended.
And
Some of them do.
last year they had 200 cars. I think it was 200 cars. You can
200 plus,
only
yeah.
imagine what that's like.
Yeah.
Every kind of car made in America and beyond. But it's tons of fun.
And
a
a
lot
lot
of
of them come
people
down.
our age.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of them came down from up north. There were several cars from Michigan. I think there was a couple from Iowa.
Really?
I mean, it's a very broad group of people, and the way they do it, they start out in Victoria on
Yeah,
Thursday.
Victoria,
They have an
yeah.
opening deal on Victoria on Thursday night. And
then we all head out on Friday morning. And police escort out of town, and there were little towns along the way that the whole town would turn out.
Right.
The kids actually went by one of the grade schools there. They had all the kids out there waving, everybody's honking the horn. Lots of fun.
200 car parade. Where else are you going to get that?
No, that's cool. We
Yeah.
did a Corvette caravan for the Corvette Museum's 20th anniversary and left Houston and did that caravan. And like you said, a lot of people in town had come out. And
It's all car people and tons of fun. And, we have gatherings in the evening. And I vaguely remember us having a nice gathering. at some hotel there along the way.
What are you looking at me for?
We were supposed to, they set something up with the drive-in to have a movie at the drive-in. It was
and a horrendous thunderstorm moves through.
Oh,
So
really?
we're not going to go out there. So we stayed at the hotel in the lobby. And I don't know as if they really appreciated us cutting it up there in the lobby. But we sure had a
was
good
there
time.
a little alcohol involved?
Lots.
We actually filmed. We did a segment for the show that evening.
We're
what I
keeping
remember
it-
of it.
We're keeping it for prosperity or blackmail, one of the two. Whatever
Yeah,
comes
well,
quickest.
Jeff's lovely wife, don't show me, don't put me in there. And she walks right in front of the camera and said, come sit down over here. Oh, no, I'm not going to. And then it became a joke, and we had lots of fun with that.
It was good.
But at any rate, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that sounds like a great social event. I mean, that's
It
just
is,
like
yes.
coming out to the Hideout. It's about cars and socializing.
That's exactly
Are you
what
a
it
member
is.
of a car club?
You know, not now. I'm not. I get the emails from the Big Tuna up north that puts out for all the car shows. He's a part of a Corvette club, and I was part of West Houston Muscle when we lived in Katy.
Yeah.
We go to some of the car shows, mostly to look. But
You hightailed it from Katy northward, closer to the penitentiary up in Huntsville.
You what?
You left Katy to move to the Woodlands, so you're a lot closer to the Huntsville
home.
Penitentiary up there.
Yeah, closer to home up there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say you could go see Don sometime when you're up there, but
Absolutely. Yeah, I pop in and out of there
You
occasionally.
just get out on the weekends then.
Visitation.
Okay.
That's exactly right. Listen, I know that you know Bill Seitz, so I can say these things comfortably to you.
Where's Bill? I know he's listening.
I'm looking for him too.
he was
over there.
standing
He
right
was
there a
standing.
minute ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know
He's
Bill.
standing right there. Yeah. So, he's got a HEMI Hideout name badge on.
Yeah.
So that means something.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a badge of
connected.
honor.
It is.
Connected.
It
It's
is.
connected, yeah.
He's part of the host family that talks to everybody.
So I'm
as
going
they
to
come
take a
and go.
survey, and that is I'm going to ask people like yourself. I asked John. He said, "Sure, we can accommodate that. To have a permanent air studio here in the Hideout, so we could all be inside this studio, kind of like this, but nicer and neater, not this ragtag
Something
thing that we
that's
got.
permanent.
May have more permanent here, and then so every time there's an event here, then we won't have to spend hours setting all of this up." And we could just kind of like be the, man on the street kind of thing.
Right.
Come on in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that way the car show would come to us instead of us having to go there.
Right. That'd work out good on the weekends that you get out of Huntsville.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Those special,
Conjugal visits.
I wasn't going to say that.
I don't know about conjugal. Oh, and she's standing right there.
I know,
too.
that's
Never
a-
mind.
You're getting the eye. You're getting the evil
not
eye.
me. You'll have to ask her. Play back the tape later. Becky
Yeah.
is over there smiling, and
She heard it, but
yeah, Mr. Marr's wife has made a rare appearance here on the, not on the In Real Time Car Show, but she is in the audience.
Well, last time she was here, you got married.
Conrad, why you don't go there?
I said it to John, but it wasn't in public like that.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it up. I swear I didn't bring it up. Well, at any rate, so you didn't bring the Corvette here, so what did you drive here?
I brought my wife's car. She's here with us today helping as well. I think she's probably over by the refreshments, but anytime John has a big group, we try to make it down for that and give him a hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
You retired? You retired? You still working?
I'm retired. Been retired for 15 years
And
now.
what was your line of work?
I worked in oil and gas here
Yeah?
in Houston, yep.
Do you say the company name or no?
Yeah, it's Marathon Oil.
Marathon, okay.
Yeah, Marathon Oil, too. I spent 34 years with them, enjoyed every day of it.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you here. So what is your duty today?
I'm helping guide people as they pull in. We welcome them and we give them directions where to go park, and then they bring them up on the golf carts and they come in and look around and try to make them feel at home. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, that's good. Well, listen, we sure appreciate you stopping by, and
It's good to visit with you
it's
guys.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you
And
guys.
now we know outside of Huntsville where to visit you.
That's right.
Right here. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Jim.
thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
Conrad.
Always makes me wonder if people understand what's about to happen to them when they get interviewed.
Well, I
by
kind of
us.
feel sorry for some of them because I don't think a lot of them know what
Who
we
we
do
are,
here.
yeah.
Which is kind of a scary thing in itself. Do you want to do This Week in Auto History? Are
Sure.
you ready to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Well, let's do This Week in Auto History. Conrad always puts this together for us.
So this week in 1934, the automatic transmission was patented by Oscar Banker. He filed for a patent for a new type of automatic transmission. The automatic transmission wasn't a new idea at the time, but it had hardly been perfected. General Motors and REO had debuted semi-automatic transmissions the same year, but both were found to be quite reliable. And to this day, GM automatic transmissions are still unreliable. Sorry. It's my editorial comment
Well, they're
for
not
the
by
day.
themselves. Let me put it that way.
Even though Banker's patent, which used hydraulic force, it had no need for a manual clutch mechanism, so he kind of developed the torque converter idea of fluid multiplying power inside the automatic transmission.
Kind of like a turbine engine does.
So, and you got to remember the original automatic transmissions General Motors offered were first mass-produced, and they were used in the 1940 Oldsmobiles and Cadillacs of the day. In 1939 this week, the Automotive Hall of Fame was founded. The idea for an Automotive Hall of Fame was conceived during a time when the auto industry was still relatively young but rapidly growing. The institution was initially operated in New York City. However, it became established as its permanent home in Michigan in the heart of the automotive industry. In 1960, the Automotive Hall of Fame relocated to Dearborn, where it resides today in a modern, iconic building. The move highlighted Michigan's central role in the automotive history and development. In 1951, DeSoto Fire Dome engine began production for 1952 model year. The DeSoto Fire Dome was the HEMI engine that DeSoto used. It was called the Fire Dome.
You want my DeSoto? Me? There you go. Thank you. I have a DeSoto story. You ready?
Sure.
So my parents' first car after they got married in 1948 was a 51, I think, DeSoto, 52. It was green. I got a picture of me on it when I was
seen the picture I posted.
when I was a kid. So it had a starter problem, and my dad had to teach my mother with a broomstick and a hammer
How to hit the starter?
how to hit the starter. How'd you open the hood and put the broomstick on it and hit the hammer on the broomstick to
Get the starter to
yeah,
turn?
and that was pretty common. That's my DeSoto story. Thought I'd share
Should have
it.
taught you to do it and left your mom
Well,
stay
I
in
was
the
a little
car.
bit young and probably couldn't hold a hammer at that time. Oh, if I had a hammer.
And
Had a
this-
hammer in the morning.
Yeah. In 1965, the MGB goes on sale. If you remember, the MGB was the little hardtop MG, teeny tiny little car. And then later on, the MGB was built from 65 through 73, and in the later generations, the MGB was they had a GT version of it, and the GT version had that 215 cubic inch aluminum V8 that was originally a Buick engine, but it was also sold by Oldsmobile and Pontiac. General Motors had sold all the castings to British Leyland back in the mid-'60s, and then that became kind of the engine of choice at Range Rover for a number of years. But they ran that V8 in that little MGB GT, which I thought was quite a hot rod. And then in 1968, the movie starring Steve McQueen, Bullet, debuted. Steve McQueen takes viewers on perhaps my opinion, the most iconic car chase in movie history.
I agree.
Through the streets of San Francisco.
I agree,
What a great movie. Good, intense car chase to watch, and the music background was pretty
Wouldn't
awesome.
you have
as
loved
well.
to have been on the crew that filmed that?
Oh, yeah.
My gosh, yes.
When they said McQueen did most of the driving.
Yes, that's what I understand.
And the one part of the movie where he kind of blows a turn and throws it in reverse and gets all that wheel hop and tire smoke in reverse, that was not originally part of the movie, but they had filmed all of it and thought it was so good they left it in the movie.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah. And then in 1969, the first Plymouth Superbird was completed. You can kind of see one of them here. You guys had highlighted the yellow one back there. John had. Workers at Chrysler's Clarepoint pre-production facility completed the first Plymouth Superbird this week in 1969 as a 1970 model vehicle, initiating the historic run of iconic NASCAR-inspired muscle cars. Superbirds began life as a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner and underwent most of their Superbird-ish look at the Lynch Road assembly plant.
Birdish.
Well, you got to remember, it started as a Roadrunner, then they put the wing on it and the front nose and stuff on it. About 5 miles away, and final assembly included installing the nose happened at Clarepoint. One of the unique things about Superbirds is every production Superbird had a vinyl top on it.
I did not realize that, but that one over there does.
Yeah, every one production had a vinyl top, and the reason for that is they couldn't cleanly finish that C-pillar roof panel, so they figured the easiest way to deal with it was to cover it up with a vinyl top.
Understood.
Kind of just a unique fact about Superbirds.
I didn't know that.
And that's this week in auto history.
What were you going to ask, Mars?
If David had turned his mic on.
What I was going to say, but if you go look at the Dodge equivalent, it does not have a vinyl top on it. They figured out a way to do that, whereas the Plymouth factory just threw the vinyl top on it to cover it up.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yep.
We'll have to nail John down and get the story.
Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he knows.
The Daytonas don't have the vinyl top on it.
Huh. Well, there you have it.
Interesting trivia.
There's your one Coke for the week,
sir.
Mars.
And I'm dying here.
That's this week in auto history.
Yeah, it's not just here. All right. In case you're wondering, we're going to have an extra hour of the show on today because we wanted to be here when the actual event starts at 11. So we thought, well,
with the fabulous Thunderbirds.
I guess.
Well,
not
quite the band, but the people.
So we wanted to be here for at least half of that because the actual invited event goes from 11 to 1. It's a cruise-in. It's open to the public, but a lot of car clubs are coming for the cruise-in if they can make it here.
And John was nice enough to let us
Glom
come on, and then we passed on the invitation through our social media as well.
Yeah.
So we're kind of hoping some others show up.
Yeah, well, I think that they will. All right, time now for this hour's headlines from Automotive News. Stellantis aims to surpass Ford Motor Company and become the world's largest maker of light commercial vehicles. The push for more sales to businesses and governments includes a new unit called Stellantis Pro One and 4 electrified pickups in North America over the next 2 years. In addition to the electric Ram 1500 REV, or REV, scheduled to arrive next year, the North American plans include a new hydrogen solution to come, according to Stellantis. Ram also has shown U.S. dealers a concept version of an electric mid-size pickup truck. That'll be interesting. Stellantis Pro One will serve as an umbrella for commercial vehicles that will continue to be sold under the company's various brand names: Citroën, Fiat Professional, Opel Vauxhall, Peugeot, and Ram. I didn't know
all
that
those
they had
common names here in the United States, right?
Well, they're big overseas. Ford
tongue.
began running its commercial division, Ford Pro, as a separate business in January. I think they all took the cue from Ram when Ram separated itself from Dodge back in the day. Same kind of thing. I thought that this was interesting. Heavy tech Teslas cost about $1,350 more in collision repairs than combustion vehicles, according to third quarter data. Rivian and Lucid were higher, but non-Tesla EVs cost just $269 more than gas cars on average. Teslas were higher than gasoline cars by $1,347, while non-Tesla EVs were just $269 higher. Part of Tesla's higher collision costs comes from its safety and technology features that are spreading across the industry, pushing repair bills and insurance premiums higher, especially in the luxury category.
Well, and if you think about that, the electronics that are built into the Teslas and all of the other EVs, when they're involved in a collision, it's not just fixing the dented metal and plastic, it's fixing the damaged electrical systems in the vehicle. And that takes a higher level body shop and a higher level body shop technician to do that correctly. You know, the other thing about Teslas, if there's any damage at all to a battery, you throw it away and you put a new one in it. Quite expensive.
Because you can't take the chance of having a meltdown on it later on.
The liability.
Thermal runaway is what they call it.
You were talking about the issue you were having with your Corvette, trying to find that connection. I mean, you take it, and the whole vehicle.
Think about that with a 600-volt battery.
Yeah.
He went through over 100 circuits to find out that it was the seat. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, just a little bit of damage, though, to a Tesla. You could just, that's why there's so many different things you could damage, just a crack or shift it. Shift happens whenever you have a wreck.
And again, that comes to the level of body shop technician really has to elevate over the guy with a hammer and putty because of the electronics have to be repaired in them.
Elevate, perpetuate. Song in that.
Is there?
Uh-huh. It's a rap thing. I'm working on it.
So is hammer and putty.
U.S. auto safety regulators
It's
said
MC Hammer and Silly Putty.
U.S. auto safety regulators said Zipcar has agreed to pay a $150,000 fine after a government investigation found it allowed customers to rent vehicles with uncompleted recalls. Zipcar could be forced to pay another $150K if it does not comply with the terms of the settlement with NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, following a more than 5-year investigation. Agency is requiring Zipcar to submit an audit report of all Zipcar vehicles with uncompleted recall repairs. Avis Budget Group completed its acquisition of Zipcar in May.
Just in time for the NHTSA lawsuit.
Yeah.
So I have Don's rap handle, Bust a Hip.
That's not funny, David. It's just not funny.
Oh, my God,
anymore.
that was great.
Ford Motor Company Executive Chair Bill Ford implored UAW leaders last week to end their month-long strike before it further hurts the economy and cripples the automaker's ability to compete against the likes of Tesla and Toyota. Ford, speaking from the company's historic Rouge complex in Dearborn, Michigan, said the industry was at a crossroads during this round of contract negotiations. Choosing the right path is not just about Ford's future and our ability to compete, he said. This is about the future of the American automobile industry. Toyota, Honda, Tesla, and others are loving this strike because they know the longer it goes on, the better it is for them. They will win, and all of us will lose. The strike against the Detroit 3 began September 15th with 3 assembly plants and has since expanded to about 34,000 workers at 44 facilities across the United States of America.
From Ford, a company that named their plant after the river they polluted, the Rouge River.
No, it was Rouge before it was polluted.
Oh.
It was called Rouge, yeah. With Red.
Red River, yeah.
It was red before it got polluted?
Yeah, sort of like a little tinge, yeah.
I thought it was polluted.
Well,
from
there's a
all
lot
the
of ore.
production.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of ore.
Iron ore.
And that's what turns the water.
Okay. I think that I've had enough of these headlines right now.
We've got C block. We got A block for a commercial break coming up.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And I'm going to get to that as soon as I can get all of my... What?
I just want to make sure you got the right block.
Okay. Well,
he's trying to get all his paper together.
I know. I've got a lot going on here.
You do.
So you're just going to have to bear with me.
Sure.
Which you typically don't do.
I know.
You're not good at that.
Nope.
Jeff wants it. He wants it now.
Yep.
and does not want to wait around.
Nope.
So,
Get the last word in, too.
yes, you are, as
Yep.
you always do.
Yep.
Time now for a quick break. We'll be right back. You are on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeartRadio.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
From the fabulous HEMI Hideout in Brookshire, Texas, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show coming up. More guests from the Hideout, along with folks from the car clubs attending today's cruise in. Jeff has a segment on top 5 kit cars under $26K.
Yep.
I like that. I'm looking forward to that.
Good one.
Yeah. I've always wanted to build a kit car. Not that I have time or knowledge to do it, but I figure if there's a way to screw it up, show me a blueprint and I got it done.
Time is the main thing.
There's people who donate their C5 to kit cars.
Well, we're not doing that.
Because all that body work kind of comes off pretty easy.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're not doing that, so you can get that out of your mind. Conrad has the racing calendar in the car clinic, and later we got the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Just ahead on this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin.
Yes,
sitting next to him, as it should be, is David Ainsley, our chief engineer and bottle washer, and I'm Don Armstrong, fresh out of the Huntsville State Penitentiary. We'll just leave it at that.
We got a fan club up there.
Huh?
We got a fan club up there.
One. At any rate. So people are rolling in.
And he's only going to be a fan for 5 to 11 years.
5 to 11 years. That's it. So, Mr. Mars, I see that we have a guest down here. No, go give me a so. Don't give me that. No, don't give me the so.
My wife has always told me that behind every great man, there's a woman. Mm-hmm. So we have now the woman behind the HEMI Hideout in John Hovas. Now, this is not his wife. This is the boss. This is Miss Shelley.
No, she's the second boss.
Well,
the first one is Diane Hovas.
Right.
Yes. And I think that you would agree with that.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Move that microphone a little bit closer to your mouth.
Sorry, first time.
That's all right. A little closer. Come on. So when I saw you, or when you walked in, when I walked in from doing all this stuff this morning, you said, "I'm sorry. I've been trying to email all of these people that are coming here. The highway department has changed the exit for us to get here."
Yes, their people did not contact my people. They didn't tell me they were changing the exit.
The highway department didn't tell you? Imagine that.
I know, right?
State of Texas? My gosh.
Whew, it's always a challenge getting 400 people to the HEMI Hideout when they start changing
the exits.
On me,
yeah,
right?
you can't get there from here anymore.
No, because the exit was Peach Ridge Road. They tore that out, and now they've laid new concrete, but you can't get to the concrete that they just laid because the part of the new concrete is not attached to the old concrete off the highway.
Yes.
It's a big jacked up mess.
So when you leave here today, everybody take one of the barriers home with them.
Yes.
Open it up.
Yeah, we'll drag it down the street. So I know that you were shaken. You were so worried about everybody getting here. Well, I don't think that they're here yet. You're probably going around in circles out on the freeway.
Yeah, not everyone's here yet, but the good news is technically the event didn't start, or I advertised it starting at 11, and it's 11:03 now.
It is 11:03.
We have a good amount of people
off to a
in here.
good start.
Absolutely do.
Yeah.
That's right on the money.
Yes.
Well, maybe a couple of seconds off, but it's close.
And some of the people have already made it to Weimer. They just have to turn around and come back.
Right. Come back.
But
Weimer.
It's exit 732. Go north till the next light and make a right and follow it around.
As of this morning, it's
Or make a
now
left.
7:33.
See,
Never
you came
mind.
through too early this morning. Now that exit's gone.
That's correct.
You've messed it up again.
Well, they'll find it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
And I will say this. Leslie's Waze worked great. And it told us, down here, U-turn, come back around. Is it Donegal Road? Donegan Road. That takes you over the top of the freeway to get kind of out of the mess.
Right.
So
It'll be fine.
it'll be fine. I know it will.
Oh, it'll work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It'll be worth the trip when you get here to
Yes,
see
it
this
is.
place.
How long does it take you to set up for stuff like this? Days?
Well, this is an easy event because catering is outside. There's a food truck here, so we don't have to actually set up a whole lot inside other than a few tables and chairs for people to sit at if they need to sit down, take a break from looking around.
So this was easy.
Yes.
So are you the one that says, okay, John, well, we need to move this car out? Because
Yes.
I need to, you're the one that says that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in charge of the HEMI Hideout. I have the best job in the world,
Yeah,
in
you
my
did.
opinion.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
you did. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved helping decorate it, and he's still collecting, so I'm still here. And because I don't decorate for him full time, to make it a full-time job, I host tours of the HEMI Hideout by reservation on a Monday through Friday. They just call, and I charge for the tour. It's $10 cash per person, no one under the age of 12. But the cool thing about the money is he matches it and lets me donate 100% of it to local charities. So it goes a long way in our community.
That's good.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
I knew that he gave that it went to charity, but I did not realize that he matched it.
Yes. He matches
So it's
it.
really not a charge to come to the show. It's a donation to
Right.
come to the HEMI Hideout that John serves the rest of his community with those donations.
Yes. Technically, it's a donation. But if I call that to people, some don't want to make the donation. So
Whatever.
I can't imagine
somebody's always got to
drive on
complain
by.
about something.
Well, I mean, if you're interested in this place and coming here, I find that hard to believe that.
$10 is not going to kill anybody.
yeah.
And it's well worth the money because if you're into automobile collections, you want to see
And signage.
and want to see probably what's one of the best man caves in the country. This is John's man cave.
Right. think it's very similar to a museum because all of this stuff is from the past, it's all a part of history. And I've paid more money than $10 to get into a museum.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's all absolutely museum quality
100%.
content.
Yeah.
But there's a sign at the door that says this is not a museum, everything is for sale.
Well, that's a joke. His wife had that made. So John was on a trip and he was hunting for this stuff for a couple weeks. He was gone. Well, she had Bill Seitz paint that sign. The real sign is on behind that. And so it's a joke, like everything's for sale.
Because somebody just bought the sign.
Diane Hovas. Mm-hmm.
That's but that's what us car guys do. We do stupid things like that. What are you eating over there?
Something from the food truck.
They're feeding David over here.
Clutch City Cluckers.
There's a food truck out there.
Chicken.
Wow. That's very nice. Okay.
How come David's the only one getting fed,
Because
though?
he's David.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's drinking a squirt.
So, how many people do you think a year come out and visit HEMI Hideout? Have you ever counted?
Oh, no, I haven't counted. But this week alone, let's see. On Wednesday, I had 170 people.
Wow.
Thursday, I had 8 people. Friday, I had 120. And then today, I'm expecting a little over 400. So quite a few come through in a week alone.
And you actually
that's
get
700 this week.
You actually get
Right.
bus tours.
Yes. The city of Houston has the different precinct allow groups, senior citizens groups, to utilize their buses. And they can go a certain distance out of Houston for day trips. And because we're indoors mostly, this is a popular stop for senior citizens because they remember a lot of this stuff. They grew up with these brands that they see. And
You be careful, young lady, about what you say about that.
Yeah, as long as she's looking at you, we're okay. But
There's that.
It's really open to where, a wheelchair can get around in here pretty good.
Yeah.
And crutches or the walkers, So
Right, and certainly during the week when we host the tours, it's all open. We don't have the tables and chairs, so it's really handicap accessible if they are in a wheelchair or walker.
Yeah. And I could see where people, my parents would be one of them that would come in here and say, "Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember this.
Yes.
I remember this."
There's also events that you host in here. You do weddings and stuff.
Wedding reception.
I didn't bring it up.
Just leave it.
I didn't start that.
You just need to
You
let
have
it
bands, you have other functions, you've had birthday
Fundraisers.
parties, anniversary parties and things.
Right. It's very popular with corporate companies because they have their yearly events and,
go. Are y'all booked up for Christmas?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see why you.
How
do
long
that.
ago did you book up for Christmas?
In March.
Really?
March.
Christmas is over. Let's book next year.
So
That's the way to do it.
when you do that, you book it for like every day. There's something in here toward Christmas.
I might have 2 days other than Christmas Eve and Christmas Day that isn't booked, but it's definitely during the week. All my weekends are booked. Solid.
Wow.
If you want a weekend, you have to book probably in February
Well, at Christmas for the Christmas
for the
break,
Christmas,
yeah.
for December.
And odd. You think of odd. I do odd things when it comes to this place. John, you, and this morning I was thinking, well, it's a little bit too early to have your fabulous Christmas tree up. Do you change the Christmas tree decorations every year?
I add to it, but I use the traditional colors the same: the red, green, silver.
Yeah.
Silver works well in here because of all the chrome
Yeah.
from the rims of the cars.
And all the neon. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it reflects all the neon.
There's an interesting story that I heard, and that was that when this place was being built, that you said absolutely not, you cannot have a restroom like that for a place like this, and that you had him redesign the restroom facilities in here.
Well, he wanted one restroom for men and women to share
Yeah.
in a 21,000 square foot building. No, we needed more restrooms, and we needed a woman's restroom. So there's a women's restroom, there's a men's, and we even have one in the office now.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Well, I thought that was an interesting thing, that you started with John long before, John and Diane, long before the Hideout was built.
Right. I'm their interior decorator. So when they wanted to remodel their home, they contacted me because we are very close friends and family. We consider each other family.
Right.
So they remodeled their home, and then I helped them remodel another building on the property, and then John showed me the plans of the HEMI Hideout. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm residential. I don't do that. And he says, it's my garage. It's right next to my house, and I want you to be.
Garage.
Yeah. I want you to be my decorator.
Boy, is that
my
an
designer
understatement.
decorator. Yes.
A 22,000 square foot garage.
With a diner.
Yes. It grew. The project grew.
No doubt.
Yes. When
Did-
he wanted a cupola, well, then now it's over 5 stories tall
Yeah.
in the center of the building.
Yeah. So it didn't start off that tall.
No.
So when John gets new signage, do you have a say in placement of the new signage?
I had a lot of say in placement of the signs at the beginning, but now I'll come in and he's hanging signs where he wants them. And I'm like, wait a minute, you don't need me anymore. No, he's just kidding. But he has a really big bulldog from the Mack truck bulldog.
Oh, yeah, he was telling us that we're going to have to find a place for it.
Yes, and so I have helped pick that spot out, and we're going to rearrange some other signs. So I do have some say still.
Yeah, that's good. But mainly your main focus now is coordinating all of the stuff that goes on in here.
Yes, that's more of the full-time job. But when he needs display cabinets redone or redecorated, that I do that too. But my main job is hosting tours and then renting out the HEMI Hideout for private parties.
Yeah.
Keep it operating.
Yes, and keep it clean.
Clean. Do you have a cleaning crew that comes in to help you?
I do.
Okay, I was going to say,
But-
yeah, it's me. No, it's not.
Hey, but if I see a spill or something needs to be clean, I'll be the first one to grab a broom.
Of course you are.
For sure.
Yeah. And what is Paula's duty here?
Paula has worked for John for a long time. She pays the bills, helps with the taxes. You know, she does all the stuff he doesn't
All the
want to do.
bookkeeping
administration.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's an interesting family, and I said this early on. There's a group of helpers, friends that all have the HEMI Hideout badge on, and
Yes.
it's a selected group of people that come out here and volunteer their time, and they're part of the family.
Yes.
And I don't think that this place would be what it is if it weren't for them.
Absolutely. I could not host tours during the week without them. I can't have 170 people in here and host them by myself.
Yeah.
And so the volunteers here mean the world to me.
Yeah.
Because they do it for free. They volunteer their time and they come day after day and help me.
And they're knowledgeable
Yes.
about what's here.
Right.
Knowledgeable about some of the signage, about the cars and stuff, so they can share that information as opposed to going to a museum where you just kind of walk around and look at it.
Right.
There's somebody here, and my wife and daughter had come out here with a couple of their friends from California about a year ago, and they said, yeah, it was wonderful because there were people who would tell you what you were looking at. It wasn't just you're wandering around going, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Well, that's why the sign says it's not a museum.
Yeah.
You know, I just was looking up at my favorite sign in here. It has been. Don't get me wrong. I think they're all absolutely stunningly beautiful and really nice. But the one that I've loved since the first time I came out here was the Dodge sign in the box.
Yes, that sign is from the late 1930s, and it's still in the original crate.
Yeah.
We just took off some of the wood pieces in the
So you
front.
could see
To
it.
plug it in.
Plug it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can see it better.
There's just something special about that sign that attracts me. I can't tell you what it is. I think the fact that it's never been out of the box.
Right, still in the original crate. Now, something you may not have seen yet, we have a little girl's stroller toy
I saw that over
in
there.
the original crate. Now, you know some little girl would have loved to have played with that, but it's never been taken out of the crate.
I like.
Where is it?
It's on top of the drink cooler over there towards the restrooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've
I'm going to
noticed-
take another look at
I've
it.
noticed John's also added a couple of pedal cars.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a Rolls-Royce pedal car or
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
it is over there
That's
by the
the
restroom.
elite of pedal cars.
That is a dual pedal car. What a cool piece that is.
I like the bicycle built for 4, right up there.
A lot of people love that. It stands out. So that
Oh, yeah.
they built
That's
that.
the in-wheel time machine bicycle right
Oh.
there.
Yeah, that's what we need to
Don
do.
steering, you and I and Mike pedaling.
Yeah.
What's this you and I?
And we'll have, hey, I'll be up front, and then we'll have David on the handlebars.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And you need a little bell.
Sing
Ding,
it,
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, kind of like an additional Three Stooges plus one.
So
That'd
do
be
you have a favorite sign or a favorite story about a sign here?
I not so much a sign. I love there's a roller organ back in where we keep the minerals and geodes, and I love the roller organ.
We'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, it sounds like an organ, but it's on a roller and they're handmade, and I was told it was invented in the late 1800s.
I got you. It's a player organ.
Yes.
Yeah.
A coin-operated horse back there, too, that Kathy rode the last time she was here. She was on there. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you on the show with us. Thank you so much for everything you do. We love you, and we appreciate everything. So
love
thank
you guys.
Love
Thank you.
All right. Shelley Gates, the famous and fabulous. All right. The N-Wheel Time race card is sponsored by Texas Nostalgia Modified Production.
So did you watch last weekend? Erica not only won the Texas drag race at Ennis, she also took the lead in the championship by about 40 points.
They're off this weekend, and they're in Las Vegas next
weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
I recorded it, actually, and then sent you all text messages.
This can be her 6th
World Championship.
Pro Stock World Championship. So, yeah, they're in Las Vegas, October 26th through the 29th. And then the finales at Pomona, November 9th through the 12th. NASCAR this weekend's in Homestead. Next weekend is in Martinsville. And then their finale is November 5th in Phoenix. Formula One is in Circuit of the Americas in Austin today, and tomorrow. They're in Mexico City on the 29th, Brazil on November 5th, Las Vegas on November 19th. So, you think about it, Houston has had huge racing events over the last month of October with NHRA coming to town. NASCAR was in town. Now Formula One's in town. Texas has not Houston, but Texas has become quite a spot for motorsports in worldwide motorsports. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then IMSA's finished their series, and IndyCar has finished their series. Jeff had some news when I sat down earlier. Jeff, you want to share that about Formula One?
The Renault is not the engine builder for Andretti at this point because they didn't put the paperwork through in time. There was a lot of questions about it. So the FIA said, okay, you got two choices. You got Alpine or you've got Honda. Neither of them want to be in it. McLaren's kind of kicking up their heels, kind of being angry about it. So over time, they're going to pick either an Alpine or Honda, and then General Motors, Cadillac will build their own F1 motor.
And you got to remember, it's not just motor; it's the whole powertrain.
It's the whole
because
powertrain,
they have to have the electric drive component.
Well, they call it the motor,
drive,
but when they just include it as an
motors.
Engine. Yeah. So it's all inclusive in that. Yep.
It'd be interesting to see how that works.
I'm in.
Okay. Jeff has a feature, top 5 kit cars under $26K. And I had to think about this. When Jeff sends this stuff out. This is what I'm going to do this week. And the first kit car that came to mind that I think would be really cool, laugh at me if you will, is instead of a Volkswagen motor, a Corvair motor. And you could probably put it on a Corvair frame for a Myers-Manx body.
Well,
To me, if I'm going to make a kit car, I want to have it fun, open,
Myers-Manx is in this grouping, but it didn't make the top 5. It's more like a 9 or a 10 in the grouping. But this first one is a Factory 5 Daytona Coupe, which is $22,000. This being a Factory 5 kit doesn't mean quality is compromised. It uses a custom welded chassis frame, handcrafted composite body that would fool most knowledgeable gearheads. If anything, the biggest single expense in this vehicle would be the engine, suitable for a range of small block motors, including a Ford Coyote. Number 4 in this would be a Pilgrim 356 Speedster for $6,800. Of course, you will need to provide a donor motor, which would be from a VW single axle It's decent condition, would be suitable. Pilgrim kit uses the chassis and the original running gear to create a faithful recreation that would be simpler air-cooled Porsche motor. Replica on the first taste would be more of a motoring thing. So $6,800, you could get a 356 Speedster. The next one would be a Provo design Countach. This is $20,000 without question. This is a kit for the serious gearhead who possesses some skill and doesn't mind getting their hands dirty.
You know, I have to tell you that the Countach, it seems dated now.
Yeah, it is, and it's really not even a good-looking car anymore. But you can still build one. For those who want the Countach without the effort, Provo also offers a turnkey model complete with the Audi V8 running gear. It's a bit pricier at $20,000, but then the real deal will set you back about $400,000. So that's that one for $20,000. The next one is a DF Goblin. This is number 2 on the list for $10,000. The good thing about the Goblin, it's a custom tubular chassis. It has a pretty basic, humble Cobalt or a Chevrolet Cobalt mechanical parts. Most flexible kits do. Who knew it that a car could be so much fun for so little money, being at $10,000? And the number 1 in our book is a Dax Coupe. This one's $26,000. As an example, a '65 Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe recently sold for $1.49 million. This one from JK Sports Cars. I have the opportunity to build one, a replica, legendary sports car, a giveaway price of $26,000. You could put a V8 from Ford, Rover, Chevy, among other manufacturers out there. So that would be the top 5.
Yeah, and that buys the kit. You still got to go buy suspension and wheels and tires and engine transmission.
No. Those are all part of it. That $10,000, but you with the other ones with the Volkswagen, you got to buy the donor tub,
the pan,
by the donor. That's the only thing that's not included. So these you can get them for those prices.
Oh,
you just have to have the time, the patience, and a space to do it. Really. Yep.
I want one.
I'd take one of those Shelby Daytona looking ones.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want the Myers-Manx one because there's no doors.
No.
It's a one-piece body that I'd have to have shipped here.
Yep.
And instead, I don't know what kind of motor. I said Corvair motor because I know about them. But but what
Volkswagen do just as well.
I know. Well,
and create more power.
No.
The Volkswagen would. Yeah.
You think?
Oh yeah.
If somebody's going to goose it up because of stock.
Well, why wouldn't you? You would want to. You'd want to have, running on red line every time.
The way to make the power in the Corvair engines to turbo it. Well, you can turbo the Volkswagen motor and create more power. In my opinion.
Yeah, I would go with Volkswagen.
And I'll actually do more dependable
Would you? Well, okay.
power.
So you're going to have to help me make that work.
Okay.
You're going to come over and what are we going to do? We're going to clean out the
studio and
no, clean out the living room and do it in the living room.
Well, what'll Susie think?
Susie doesn't care.
Yeah, she don't care.
She doesn't care. We'll move her couch back into the into the dining room. We'll do something. I wanted to finish my Hemmings sold cars.
Yep.
A 1997 Jeep Cherokee. Remember the square body Jeep Cherokee from 1997?
Kind of the start of the SUV.
Yeah. So what would you expect that to be?
What year again?
97.
$6,000.
I'm thinking 8.
4.
Ooh.
Pontiac Firebird from 1989.
That was that ugly generation.
It sold for $600.
I was going to say, so that's sold without the mullet.
Yeah, that's right.
You didn't have a mullet.
$600. Here's $600. Take my car, please.
Yes. Here's $600. You get rid of the car, and I'll be happy. This is for you, sir.
Uh-oh.
A 1966 Oldsmobile Tornado. Sold price, nothing. I don't think it's sold. It says 0.
I had a chance to buy one of those years ago.
And you didn't do it.
And I passed.
1974, this is for you.
Okay.
Chrysler Imperial LeBaron.
74.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that was the K-car version, wasn't it?
Oh, my God. This is huge thing.
$7,800.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. $7,700. There you go. Way to go. Jeff wins.
Well, I was TT&L.
62 Buick Skylark convertible. Actually looks pretty good. Black, white wall tires,
11,000.
red interior, $15,000. These are cars that sold through Hemmings, Sold Car Classics. 1964 International Harvester.
Wait, there's one back here.
Scout?
No, International Harvester. It is, no, it's a tractor.
Oh.
It's a tractor. Sold for
$23,000.
$6,000.
Way off.
I want to hurry through because we're running out of time here. The 67, I know, David. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's see. A 1983 Buick Riviera convertible, $10,500. I point these out because these
that is a water-leaking sieve.
Oh, you know that.
Yes. Those converters were built by Hess and Eisenhart.
Great. Well, how did you know that?
Because they also built some Oldsmobile Tornadoes of the same generation.
All right.
You put the leak in leaky.
And we close out this week's Hemmings Sold Car Weekly Roundup by telling you about a 1945 Farmall tractor.
$4,000.
$11,000. It looks like it just walked out of the showroom.
See, I was going to say $11,000.
Jeff wins.
Jeff wins. That'd be something that you could mow the grass.
There
Tell
you go.
Kathy.
There you go.
You're going to do it. Hey, the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for N-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and nwheeltime.com, and podcasts are at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Shile-Knowles at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Loopy Tortilla and College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
From the fabulous HEMI Hideout in Brookshire, Texas, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And coming up, We got another guest from the Hideout, along with folks from car clubs attending today's cruise in. Conrad will have the In-Wheel Time Car Clinic, and we'll have this week's Auto News. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
The fabulous David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Thank you so much for joining us on our weekly broadcast. This is an hour over that we normally do.
Do we get overtime pay?
We do. Absolutely.
All right, awesome.
We got overtime pay for this, yeah.
Triple
Because
time.
normally the show is on the air from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. Well, today, because we're here at the Hideout, we thought, let's just go an extra hour. John won't care. We haven't seen John in a couple of hours.
He's been pretty busy.
Yeah, he's
a busy boy.
Got lots of people here.
Greeting guests and telling stories.
Do we have a different camera other than one that's on us?
No.
We've got one for the general area.
So did you show that?
Oh yeah, I've been doing it. Oh yeah, we've been working back and forth.
Yeah, we're going to do
working
another.
We got it under control.
I know you
Yeah.
do.
We're going to take the remote, do another little walk around for a couple of minutes before we get off the air.
and it's not like
Oh, we are? Okay, good.
It's not like pushing 3 buttons. It's nothing like that. at
Oh
all.
well, yeah, I know. It's not
You
that
actually-
complicated. yeah.
Exactly.
So we're going to have to get John. Oh, here he comes, and we'll take him back over here because
Yeah.
I want to show him that back room back there, and I think there's a more direct.
I think that's where the dinosaur stuff
Yes,
is.
the dinosaur stuff.
But don't go too deep because we'll lose signal.
Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, Mr. Morris, who's our guest?
Never been told that before.
Joining us now
Yes.
with the Vintage Thunderbirds of Houston
Oh.
is Mr. D. Temple, and they've got quite a group out here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Just not used to being on the radio.
Yeah, well, you have to talk a little bit. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the club and your event coming out here as a group.
Well, we're the Vintage Thunderbirds of Houston. We've got 70 members, and we like coming out here. Although we're Ford people, this is a fantastic venue.
Yeah,
got
it is.
some incredible cars out here. The signs, memorabilia, just fantastic. So we come out here probably once a year as a group.
Yeah.
And thoroughly enjoy it.
Okay, how many people have y'all got with you? Because I've seen several of the
There's about 20 members out here today, and a lot of them brought their spouses. And but there's about 20 of us here, and I think about 15 brought their cars, all sitting out front.
So how often have y'all been coming out here?
We've been out here probably the last over 5 years. We've come out here maybe once a year.
Yeah, you've seen how it's grown.
It's just incredible the things that they find and restore and display in this garage. And the restoration process they do out back is quite fascinating too. Do some good work.
I know we've crossed paths with you guys before. You guys have done the Mecum auction.
Yes, we work the Mecum auction that comes here every year. We a lot of behind the scenes work, dragging the cars, towing the cars, and just helping out Mecum as we can.
And then you're also involved with Houston Community College.
Well, we take we do. We take the proceeds from the Mecum auction that we earn, and we plow that back into a scholarship at HCC, the automotive department. And we've had a scholarship program out there for the last 7 years, and we refund it every during the summer for the fall semester. Recently, we just had an event out there, kind of publicizing our scholarship program. We brought an ice cream truck out there and give all the students ice cream, and just talk to them about the club and working in the antique car, classic car niche of the the automotive section.
Right.
So besides just a bunch of Thunderbird car guys, you guys have a pretty good philanthropic program that you're developing.
Well, we do. Well, it's more than developing. It is developed, and we've also last year started a pilot program at HISD, at the Barbara Jordan Career Center, at the automotive program they have out there. So we've started a scholarship out there and sent it's not a lot of money per student, but we've helped them go on to trade colleges.
Okay. And but anything helps, because sometimes it's not necessarily the funding of the scholarship, it's the connection to the other trade colleges that they have an opportunity to go to.
Well, that's right. And we try to tell them about the career paths in the automotive program and as you guys know, in the classic car business, the shops are few and far between. There's a lot of backlog. The technicians are dying off, and there's not a lot of young people coming into that field. So we're trying to remind the students that there's a place for the antique car market and the classic cars, and to know what a distributor and a set of points are, as opposed to fuel injection.
And have you ever connected with, what was the guy from up northeast, the Shelby place? What was the name of his school?
It escapes me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a community college up in, I'm going to say, like the Texarkana area.
No, before we got hooked, I don't recognize that. Before we got hooked up with HCC, we made some contributions to McPherson College up in Kansas, I believe. They actually have probably one of the only 4-year restoration curriculums in the country. So we gave to them, but we wanted to spend our money closer to home in the Houston community. That's why we got involved with HCC.
At the Barbara Jordan Center.
Yeah, well, both HCC at the community college level, but to feed that, we wanted to go down to the high school level to get into their automotive programs to feed into the
Houston Community College.
Yeah, you're right. So that's what we enjoy the cars. We enjoy these cruises coming out here every month. We're going somewhere except in the summer when it's too hot. But it's more than the cars. We like to give back to the community.
So what's your Thunderbird of choice?
My personal, my preference is a 65. I think it's the best looking car. I mean, all the Thunderbirds are great. I just happen to be, I think the 65 is my favorite.
And what powertrain is in yours?
It's a 390, automatic 390, 65 convertible. It's a beautiful car.
And is that was that the one where they had the tune-out cover for the back?
You can get that for that. I didn't have it.
Yeah, cool-looking car.
Does that have a 2-speed automatic in it?
At least 4 or 6. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's a C6. I think it's a 3-speed automatic.
A 3-speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and Thunderbirds, it's a great car. It's kind of in its day, it was the halo car for Ford, as far as kind of their top line coupe that they offered to the public.
Yeah, and every gadget you could stick on a 65 was in a 65. Power windows, swing away seats, the power top that went down. It just for that period of time, a lot of technology in that car.
Oh, cool.
And then a lot of expensive things to fix now, 50 years later.
That's
we're all well aware of that. That's for sure. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by and talking to us. We appreciate you.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
Thank
sir.
you.
Bye-bye.
Conrad's Car Clinic. I think we can squeeze that in if we can keep it short today, because I've got another guest I want to get on, if that's okay.
Well, continuing the fluid thought that we've done is windshield washer solvent. You got to think windshield washer solvent's got to do a number of things. It's got to clean, but it also has to evaporate. So windshield washer, that blue fluid, there's actually quite a bit of alcohol in it. There's some detergent in it to help it clean, but there's also
when I ran out of bourbon, I used it a couple of times. Works great.
But there's also quite a bit of alcohol in it. And the purpose of that is so as you're driving down the highway and you clean your windshield so that everything evaporates out. And if you look at some of the people out there that are making windshield washer solvent, you can buy the 99-cent a gallon stuff at the dollar store, but there's also people that you relate to cleaning glass that sell a much higher price. Windex sells a windshield washer solvent.
Windex does? Mm-hmm. Where do you buy that?
Walmart.
Yeah.
They have the Windex brand windshield washer solvent.
Mm-hmm. And Rain-X also sells a windshield washer solvent. So when you think of people who are in business to keep your windshields clean, they sell a brand-specific solvent that's going to have their specific properties included in it. So,
have you ever used Windex just instead of a wiper, how they coat it, spray it? Have you ever done that?
I would be really worried about, once you wipe it, then the wind blows that across your paint.
Well, but that's why it's got such a high alcohol content. It evaporates so quick. It's not really going to cause any issues with
I
your
can
paint.
see my paint peeling off in a New York minute with that.
Plus, you're not as hungover.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, joining us now in the In Wheel Time remote studio here at the HEMI Hideout, Josh Kennedy. Josh, it's good to see you. I don't believe we've ever met.
No, sir.
But I understand that. Pull that microphone up to your mouth if you don't mind. There you go. Like the sports broadcaster that you've always wanted to be.
That's a fact.
That you were here from the very beginning, the erection of this beautiful place.
Yep.
All 22,000 square feet. What's the name of the company that you worked for at the time?
Well, at the time it was called Texas Timber Frames. Today it's called Timberline Group. And, it's grown quite a bit.
Are you still out of San Antonio?
I am personally, yes. The company's out of Bernie.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, still the hill country.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So are you a Texas boy? How did you wind up doing this?
Well, I'm a carpenter since I was a kid. I actually am from South Boston, and I came down here.
Well, you have the wrong accent for that, okay?
Well, my last name's Kennedy, so historically not awesome for Kennedys in Texas. So from Massachusetts. So I got rid of the accent real quick.
And the convertible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drop that off in the river.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Not a big fan of Lincolns for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I came here via the service. I was in the Air Force for 8 years, and Texas Timber Frames was my first job. Actually, I interviewed for it 6 months before I got out. And the co-owner at the time was a former Air Force pilot. And so, I came working for them as a fabricator and installer.
So from a carpenter's perspective, let me think. I think this is a little bit more than what a carpenter would really get into early on in his career.
Yeah, this is not terrible.
Listen, I took woodworking 1 in high school, and I flunked, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's funny. So I worked for the original owner, and then I left, and then a new group of people from Nebraska bought the company, and I was their first hire. And at that time, they needed salespeople, and I actually built their sales department. I was the Army of One at the time, and John probably regrets it every day of his life. Walked in and said, I want to build a car barn. I was like, well, come sit right down. We'll work it out for you.
Yeah.
And
so
it was the best experience.
Were you part of the design phase of this?
No, I'm too stupid for that, but I did talk him into doing it.
Yeah. But, I mean, you have to know quite a bit about this to be able to say, okay, well, we can do this, and this is how much it's going to cost.
How much board feet is necessary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He had a very basic design at first, and then
you expanded on it.
Well, we all did it. Michael Ratliff was the lead designer at the time, and still good friends with John. And John would come, and Bill Seitz, who's here, was instrumental in all this design. But one of the key features, like this arch that you see here, John came in and said, "Hey, I just bought a Porky Pig out of Missouri that was on a car dealership. We need to alter to the design because I need a place to put that." So that was the motivator.
So in other words, part of the building was designed to
specifically
accommodate that sign. Yeah.
Yep. Specifically, he's like, "It's coming, and you need to make a place in the barn for that."
When you stand in the midst of this and you look at the size of some of these, I'll call them timbers. I don't know what the correct phrase
timbers
is for them. Where do you find that wood?
Well, it comes out of the Northwest. That's actually Douglas fir, so this is all built out of basically Christmas trees that are all grown up.
But huge Christmas trees.
Yep. I'll give you some stats that I still remember. There's 147,000 board feet of timber just in the main structure right here. That's not including the outsides, which were added. The tongue and groove in the ceiling is cypress from Louisiana, and there's 13 miles of 1x6 tongue and groove on there. It took us 9 semi-trucks and several hot shots that I drove personally to get all these timbers out here.
And there's no nails.
No nails. It's all mortise and tenon, like the old style, like from Germany.
And dowels.
And dowels, yep.
Wooden dowels.
Yep, absolutely. And, it's actually today, 12 years ago today, I'll show you on my phone, we stood up the first section of this
facility.
It came on my Facebook as a memory. just this morning, but there it is.
Oh, wow.
And what am I looking at there?
Right there, that first
part?
section.
Yep.
And so we lay it on the ground, put it all together, and we fly it up. Now, what you don't see in this picture is John and all his friends were sitting right there with barbecue.
Yep.
And drinks and lawn chairs.
Sounds about right.
Right? And we're going to watch this whole thing go up. I told the crew chief, I walked over to him and I said, now look, you got an audience. Don't screw this up. Because of the design, it's actually real weak in the middle there. There's no continuous piece that goes across.
There's
so
no keystone.
We had to strong back it with an I-beam. Yeah. And so now it's standing up, it's as strong as can be, but to get it from flat to up there was a nerve-wracking situation. So I figured if we can get the first one up, we're going to be all right, fellas, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, he decided to invite half of Brookshire to go watch us put it up. I was like, Bron, don't screw this up.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be in big trouble.
Yeah.
So do you still work for the company?
No, I left in 2017 and went out to be a builder and carpenter and try my hand different things, but it's still in contact. The owner of the company is a dear friend of mine.
And do they still use this as
absolutely.
a selling tool or as a display tool for the quality of the work that they do?
100%. In fact, the company has expanded significantly since then. In fact, they just got done doing the Spurs practice facility in San Antonio, which is all a more modern design. It's real in right now. CLT panels and big glue lamps. You see a lot of structures. There's a couple in downtown Houston that they've done. They're really into that right now.
You know, when I first came in here, clearly there wasn't near as many signs as there is now. I came in here, and you look at it from one end to the other, you think, well, this is a church cathedral.
100%. I told John, he said, look, you don't buy this. I'm taking the plans, and I'm traveling the country. I'm selling it to every Catholic church I can because it's actually a perfect cross. 100 by 200, and we used to call it the car cathedral, like in the office. And
but I mean, this could easily
100%.
Have you sold this design to any churches?
No. This is John's and John's alone, and we'd never sully the fun time that we had building this. It's funny because we started, like I said, the 21st of October, 12 years ago, setting it up. And the frame we finished just before Christmas, and everybody came out to look at it. And I remember standing right there and just going, "It's never going to get better than this." Well, no, I walked off fully depressed. I had to go call a therapist because it was never going to get any better. Both client, design, the fun working with the team, because the company at the time, although it had been around for 15 years, it really had just started the year before when the new ownership bought it. So everything was very fresh.
What's the time frame from start to finish?
A year for
1 year
for our part, and then John I think took 6-8 months and Shelley and all their team to bring it to what you see today.
So in the design of it, you guys had a scope of how much he was going to hang from it, right?
No idea. In fact, I told him in the years following, I said, look, John, we designed this to take a direct hit from a Class 3 Hurricane. We did not design it to take a direct hit from John Hovas. Because you have voided the warranty, my friend, with all the stuff you've hung on
here.
Yeah,
no doubt. But obviously, it's certainly capable of holding it all.
100%. Yeah, the structure and the way that it's designed is as the timbers shrink, it actually gets stronger. So, it can withstand a hurricane and John Hovas. So, it's
I'll tell you what,
such a pleasure to be here.
Next time I'm looking to build one of these, I'm going to call you.
Yeah, absolutely. Or the guys at Timberline, they'd be happy to do it. It's a blast.
Well, Josh, it's a pleasure to meet you, and thanks so much for stopping by and talking to us
today. You built a beautiful
Yeah,
facility.
no doubt
not just me. I mean, I'm the only one who talked them into it, but the guys over there are just incredible.
Yeah, truly
incredible.
Are. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. Yep. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. We're going to squeeze that in before the end of the show today.
We just did it.
I'm sorry. Yes. I have some more headline. I know. Never mind me. You know. God.
We're on B.
Shut up.
Senility.
Oh, that's set in a long time ago. General Motors on Tuesday said it's going to push back the launch of the electric pickup production at the Detroit area factory
because nobody's
until
interested.
late 2025, citing electric vehicle demand and the need for engineering upgrades. The delay in starting output of the Chevy Silverado EV and the GMC Sierra EV at Orion Assembly is not related to the ongoing UAW strike, a spokesperson said. Rather, GM said the move is meant to better manage capital investment while aligning with evolving EV demand.
Yeah.
In other words, it's all...
We're not going to waste our money building EVs when people aren't going to buy them.
The delay in starting electric pickup production at Orion Assembly now means the plant could be down for nearly 2 years.
Wow.
Ow.
That'll make the UAW happy.
Oh, yeah, because all those workers
are standing on a picket line.
That's right.
And the UAW's got to pay them $75 a day to do it.
Correct.
That's their
Stellantis is abandoning plans to participate in the 2024 CES Tech Expo in a cost-saving move and attributed to the ongoing UAW strike. They're also, according to Mickey Bly, Senior Vice President and Head of Global Propulsion Systems at Stellantis, told a crowd at an electrification conference Wednesday that the company was continuing to invest in clean up the internal combustion engine as it rolls out electric vehicles. Stellantis' goal is to have EVs account for half of U.S. sales, blah, 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 blah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Happened late last year, the introduction of the 3-liter Hurricane twin-turbo inline 6-cylinder, which makes more power than the bigger, heavier 6.4-liter HEMI V8. A high-output version of the Hurricane makes 520 horsepower, 35 horsepower more than the HEMI V8. We have more power. We just haven't released it yet, said Bly. So, if you're a Stellantis, Dodge, whatever you are, Ram fan, there you go. The straight twin-turbo straight 6. It's going to be a
torque
beast.
monster.
Yeah,
going to put it in a Hornet.
Well, there's a possibility.
Only if they could time the transmission to work correctly.
Call it Acapulco Gold.
Acapulco Gold.
Maui,
smoking
Wowie
right out of
interior.
there. What, Mars?
I said more horsepower will fix that.
Yeah.
Always. Tub it out, as Jeff
Tub it
says.
out, baby.
Detroit 3 laying
Put a
off hundreds of
hurricane in
additional workers in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana as the ripple effect of UAW's ongoing strike continues. Now another 1,520 will be unemployed. Well, they'll not be on strike, but they're being laid off, which is different. And I didn't know that. There's a difference between being laid off and being on strike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get laid off, you don't get nothing.
I got
no
laid
job.
off.
Yeah, you got
It was
fired.
called involuntarily separated.
Yeah. Do you still feel that way, involuntary separated?
No, I think I've done fine since.
He still has the anxiety, though.
Yeah, well, we all do.
But think about that. The more people that GM, Ford, and Stellantis put out of work through layoffs, the less money that's going in to fund the UAW strike fund. I think it's all a ploy to deplete the UAW strike fund because, all of these strikers, they get paid to picket.
$500 a week.
Yeah,
Well, that's what they
it was
said.
$75 a day, but yeah, $500 a week.
So, and if you look at the amount of vehicles that are on the lots, on the ground,
60 days
they
inventory.
can sell basically.
Well, allegedly 60 days. Some have 10 days.
Yeah, but so there's 60 days worth of cars to sell there. That means there's 60 days that the factory doesn't necessarily have to put something else out there.
Matt England,
And
paging Matt England.
hundreds
Do
of
not
thousands
leave the
of
building.
dollars.
You wait for me. I'm almost off the air, so you wait. You can go outside and look, but you cannot leave.
Don't touch.
Okay.
Go out, but don't touch.
And don't touch anything.
Look, but don't touch.
Matt England.
Everything's for sale. Did you bring your checkbook?
Yeah, no, the wife's got the checkbook.
Matt England.
Yeah. So at
Just
any
like
rate,
saying that, that's all.
it's time now for a quick break. And, okay, you hang on.
3 minutes.
Yeah, or so to speak. But we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap up today's show right after this, okay? Okay. Let me make sure that I hit the right button now.
B3.
Okay.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM
really
Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there, too. We'll see you then.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here's your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff if you would. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, car, truck, and SUV goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. We live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and on In Wheel Time every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. Daily 30-minute podcasts available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our marketing advertising advisor and video technical director is We Need More Jeff Zekin.
Yep.
For booking agent and car kook, Bike Mars.
All right.
Mr. Know-It-All and Facebook fiend, his royalty, King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll hope you join us for another live award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, October 28, 2023, on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Special thanks to John and Diane Hovas, Shelley Gates, and all the great folks here at the HEMI Hideout that help make events like this run so beautifully. Have a great weekend, and we hope to see you again next weekend. So long for now.